What is going on, family? What's going on? What's up, everybody? What is going on? Shonda, what's going on, Ro? MJ, Miss Tam, Joyful, Tasty Amore. Carla, how you doing tonight? What's going on, everybody? Can everybody hear me okay? What's going on, Fabulous Butterfly? How's everybody doing tonight? Can everybody hear me okay? What is going on? Welcome, everyone. I got the itis, so I don't know how long I'll be coherent. Silk, what's going on, Silk? Big Nation. What's going on, Leilani? Thanks, Rose. Sound is good. All my beautiful ladies, my beautiful people. What's going on, Big Nation? All right, I know my girl Joy. Sis is going to be on the way soon. So give me one moment. Let me share this. All right. Leilani. Leilani, you was waiting on me yesterday? No, that's love right there. I hope you didn't wait too long. Is Lauren in here? What's going on, Connie? I didn't see Lauren. Is Lauren in here? What's going on, Miss Ronnie? Yes. What's going on, Lauren? Oh, you might have to share because I don't have no snacks tonight. I need some snacks. Well, I don't need no snacks, but I want some snacks. What's going on, everybody on Facebook? Hey, Stephanie. What's going on? Now, as usual, of course, you guys, I put Leilani, that's nothing but love. I appreciate you so much, especially when I know you're always working late. So for you to take some time out to spend with me, man, I feel absolutely very special. Very. And of course, everybody, welcome to One Cute Fat Boy. I am your boy Biggs, coming at you live, of course. If this is your first time, welcome. Welcome to the family. I hope you stay to the end. And if it's not, of course, then you already a part of the family and you already know how we get down. This is Big's Hot Talk Uncut, where we get into deep into conversation and discussion where no holds are barred. So come at it, come correct. Please be respectful, but definitely this is a free forum where you're able to speak your mind and your piece so we can all hopefully learn more about each other, learn more about ourselves, and have some good discussions, have some fun. Tonight going to be a little different tonight. Usually we let loose and we wild and we cut up. Tonight is a little serious on a serious note, but I want to give a shout out to all my ladies. Yo, happy it's National Women's Month. And even though it doesn't have to be a month, I appreciate you ladies 365 all year long. I don't need a month just to say I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys all the time. But just since that, society says that we kick y'all out a month, then I definitely want to say this is in honor of you ladies. I appreciate you guys and I just want to do something special just for my ladies. You know how it is. So I put out the invite for anyone who wants to join in. I got my hopefully my regulars will join. Feel free to join the stream. I definitely want to have my ladies representing today so y'all can represent and we can get into this discussion. What's going on, Shacky Shack? I never know how to say your name. Shacky Shack, Shacky Shack, Shaky Shack. But I like it. Yo, what go on? All right. So who's gonna join me today? We already know what we're talking about. We know what we're gonna do. And I usually have some vibes for y'all. And we gotta get in the vibe, man. We need a vibe. What we vibing to tonight? Carla, how living? Carla, I'm living big. I'm living fabulously. Working hard. Okay. All right. We got Miss Vivian. You on? You coming on? You ready? I'm coming at you. All right. Welcome, Miss Vivian, the real Vivian. Welcome.
Hi guys.
All right. Yes. And of course, the esteemed, the lovely Ronnie. Ronnie, you ready for me? I'm coming at you. How we
Hey
doing, Miss
folks.
Vivian?
Hey
Hi.
Miss Ronnie.
How you doing?
I'm good. I can't hear you guys that well. Let me see.
No,
How I
I think everything else is good.
Is it us? Can
well, I
everybody
don't
hear
know.
us good? Silk, what's going on? FWP is doing very well.
I missed Joy's live yesterday or her conversation. I really wanted to join it, but I was working at overtime.
Oh, I know you got to get. Listen, I ain't mad at that. No, we had a good time. We had a really good conversation.
Yeah, that was a good conversation last night.
Yeah, it was a real good one. We
Yeah.
we
But
definitely
this one's
talked
a
about a
little more
lot.
serious, right? About the domestic violence.
Absolutely, this is a little more serious. I mean, I don't want to take it, too deep, but definitely yes, it's a little more serious. As you guys know, I'm always kidding. I'm always joking around. You guys can always depend on me for a good laugh, and we're gonna still keep it light because I can't be anybody else but me. But yes, this is definitely a serious topic. It's something that's dear to my heart. I've had not only family members um, that have experienced domestic violence. I've experienced it, witnessed it firsthand, and then I also have friends that are suffered from domestic violence, and then you guys know, and I'm going to show the clip. So just forewarning, I'm going to put the disclaimer out there. I'm more than sure everyone has seen the clip by now, but it's something that hit me really hard, and it really affected me in a way that, I mean, I struggled with it. When I first saw it, I was awestruck. I was speechless. Um, and it really bothered me for a long time. And it just kind of stuck with me. And I'm like, there's so many things. And then I have a family, a friend recently that experienced some domestic violence, and it just sticks with me so much because I know there's got to be a certain point that it starts, right? And oftentimes things don't start like boom, hit you like a Mack truck. Things start like a trickle
Mm-hmm.
and a drop, and it has that trickle effect. And then it gets more and more and bigger until it's now until where it gets overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of feel like that's how it is, but I still don't understand it. And I know that I've heard people say, well, that's stupid. Why wouldn't you, if somebody's beating you or abusing you, why wouldn't you just leave? And I've heard on the side of it, I've heard where women have said, well, I didn't know how to leave or I was afraid to leave. I've heard some women say, or people say, well, I stayed because of my kids, or, oh, well, I know they love me and they didn't mean it. So I try to toe the line and be very careful of being judgmental
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's very judgmental for someone to say, well, you're stupid. Why don't you just leave? It's very easy to say that. But then
Yeah.
at the same time, you have to hold people accountable. If you're an adult and you have the ability to leave, then, help me understand. And maybe by helping me understand, you can help somebody else understand that's in the situation, and maybe it'll help them realize what they're going through and help them find a way out. So I'm like, as always, these discussions is not just for me to be flip or talk crazy or be loose, but it's so that we can provoke thought, provoke
Mhm.
understanding, have an open discussion where everybody can kind of like speak their piece, speak their heart, and kind of, hey, I'm not here to offend you, Miss Ronnie. I'm not here to offend Miss Vivian. Miss Vivian doesn't want to offend Ronnie, but we all want to kind of be open and speak and then get to know each other. And by breaking it down like that and having these discussions,
Mhm.
I feel like everybody that watch can, there's got to be somebody, there's definitely got to be at least one person that sees it and has an eye-opening moment, right?
Yeah.
um, Even some of our past discussions were a little more racy, a little more crazy, when we were talking about like, having multiple wives or, multiple people in relationships. I even had people message me and DM me and say, I learned so much that I didn't know. And
Mhm.
I'm like, that is awesome. That's what I love. I love learning things. I love knowing things, and I know there's other people that love that too. So that's what I want to do, and that's why we're gonna get a little bit more in depth, a little bit more into our feelings, something a little more, a little bit more, meat on the bone, something to really chew into. But I'm here for it. Y'all here for it?
Yeah,
I'm down for the
good.
serious talk. I have a
Okay.
serious story time, but I
Definitely.
don't know. I'm gonna let Miss Ronnie go first, maybe.
Okay.
Um,
Oh yeah,
she's the vet.
that's so I think when it comes to being in abusive relationships and things like that, we all know right from wrong. We all know that when you're in that type of thing, or when you see someone else maybe going through that, I
Right.
think your first inclination is to say, "You're stupid. Get out of that. What are you doing?" The
Right.
Mm-hmm.
person that's in it is probably saying that to themselves as well, because they're like, "I can't believe I'm in this relationship. I may have
Mm-hmm.
started out with this guy, and like Big said, it trickles down. The first little thing happens. You see a side of him. He slaps you. He's in your face. I'm sorry, baby. I didn't mean to do that. You love him, so you're accepting that. And he says, I won't do it again, and you believe that." And then it
Right.
continues to go on, and it builds up until it's just onslaught of this abuse, and you're so into it, and you're beating yourself up because you're saying, I
Mm-hmm.
can't believe I'm in this. You're afraid or maybe embarrassed to go and try to seek help, because the people are going to judge you, like, why are you staying with this man? He's beating on you. And then
Right.
some
Yeah.
women, it's a flip side to that too, because there are some men that are very controlling, won't let them leave. And then there
Yeah.
are some women that aren't able to just pick up and leave on their own, thinking, this, I can't keep doing this. But there's a part of you that wants to stay. There's a
Right.
part of you, I think it's just human nature not to understand that unless you're actually in it. So for
Yeah.
me, I don't judge anybody that's in that situation. I really empathize with them, and I feel bad because I want to say, you do have a way out. You don't have to take that. But there are a lot of women that feel that they have to, because guys prey on sometimes women who have low self-esteem.
Oh yeah.
They're in
Absolutely.
their first relationship, something serious or whatever, and they don't want to leave that. They think that that's maybe all that they can get. That's all that they deserve.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
they allow
that's true.
themselves to be in that situation without knowing that there's a way out. And I really
Yes.
feel, and I want every woman to know that they have the power to get out of that situation if they need to. And
Yeah,
I just wish that some would wake up and be able to do that before it's too late and something really bad happens.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, there's a lot of red flags, but I was never in that situation. Let me tell you why. I was never in an abusive situation. Personally, myself, is because I grew up in South Central LA. I grew up with a lot of gang bangers.
Okay.
My cousins and my uncles were bangers. So, with that
So they ain't.
lifestyle, they're not very kind to their women. They're
Oh.
very abusive verbally, physically, whatever, sexually or whatever. So I kind of grew up with some uncles, right? I think my first inkling of something was wrong. I think I was 7 years old, and I remember one of my uncles like chasing his fiance down to get the ring, the engagement ring. I mean, literally running through the house, chasing her outside to the front porch. tackling her down to get this ring off her finger. And I was like so young, and I'm like, what is wrong with him? So I had something inside of me that knew that that wasn't right. Even though I grew up around it, women not being put as a priority, kind of stepped on and stuff. Something inside of me knew that that wasn't right, what he was doing, how he was chasing her, the aggression, the rage, over a ring, right? So he tackled her down and got the ring and, slapped her a couple of times for her making him do all of that or whatever the case may be. And
Yeah.
I asked myself, is it worth it
Is it
to
worth?
be with someone like that? Just to say that you would a banger, someone who got money, who got the flashy cars. Is it worth it for that man to chase you down like a dog in the street, slap on you for a ring that he gave you? Because he mad and he wants it back. And I'm like, wow. I said, I will never go through that. I would never put myself in those situations because I seen it as a young girl. I seen the signs, and then growing up more and more with them, they would go in and out of prison, and I will see the difference of the household. The house would be so calm. We didn't have a lot when they wasn't around, right? When they were in prison, we didn't have the flat screen TVs and the two or three cars in the yard, but we were calm. The house was calm. We had food stamps and everything else. But when they got out, the house had a roar to it. When they got out and they women started coming over, they started arguing with their women, and you could see that aggression in them. So it's like some red flags that I seen as a kid. And when I met one dude one time on the first date, I saw a red flag. I was just like, oh no, buddy. Something happened where he had a phone call and he was upset. And I was like, are you okay? And he's like, I don't want to talk about it. And the anger that came from him reminded me of my uncle. So I said, I know he's an abuser. I can see the red flags.
Okay. So you
So it's
notice
just
those
like,
flags.
Yeah.
yeah, you kind of
Okay.
notice those flags, like they're quick to anger.
Yeah.
Okay. And I want you to remember that because that's one of the key things that I want to get down into and go more in depth to is, and that's one of the key points is noticing those red flags. So we're gonna get more into that. Definitely gonna get
Hmm.
more into that. And so what I want to do is I want to make sure that we all kind of have an opening as to say our first thoughts on the subject, and then as more and more people come in, I want to go ahead and share the clip. We're gonna wait for Joy. She's coming. She'll be here soon. And does anyone else want to join? And then and I want to make sure that everyone is comfortable. You don't have to, I will absolutely ask because that's just me. I will ask if you are a person that has experienced domestic violence in your life, or someone who has. You don't have to mention names. You don't have to say anything, but feel free to please open up and share, your experience so that
Hmm.
more people can kind of know what you went through, because you have a lot of people that like Vivian said, like Ronnie said, that thinks like why in the world would you stay in something like that? Why would you let yourself go through something like that? But we know that we've all gone through and done things and allowed people to do things to us that we wouldn't normally allow
Yeah.
because of some other reason, whether you say it's because you love them or because you thought they loved you, or you didn't know what else to do. We've all been there in some way, form, or another, right?
Hmm.
So, no judgment, no anything like that, but please feel free to come and share. I would definitely really appreciate it and welcome you.
So, like Vivian said, you have to see the warning signs. Now, I was in a relationship. It wasn't abusive, but he did have an anger problem. And it started out very slowly. Like we went on a date and we were walking down the street. We were going to a comedy club. And we were walking down the street. Now we were so this he was a white guy, so we were an interracial couple. We're walking down the street and this guy bumps into me, which he thought he did it on purpose because we were an interracial couple. Now, at that time, he let it go. Now, that guy hit me so hard, like my shoulder was hurting. So he didn't say anything to the guy. He just kind of let it go. So when we got in the comedy club, that upset his whole night. He was mad all night long and was kind of taking it out on me because he didn't speak up when this guy bumped into me. That was a warning for me because I thought, why are you mad at me? Why are you taking this out on me when some guy jammed my shoulder and you weren't man enough to say to him, hey, what are you doing? If you thought that's what he was doing, if he did it on purpose, you should have spoke up then. But you let her
Exactly.
ruin your whole evening,
Wow.
the whole evening without saying anything. And I'm like, okay, you can't control your anger. And I saw it in other ways, and I thought, no, I can't,
Not for you.
not for me,
Yes.
not for me.
Absolutely.
And that was my warning sign. That was the red flag, because I thought if I stay with this guy, I'm not know where the hell he's going to go down the road. He's got some
If it's
anger.
you, right?
Yes,
Exactly.
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 So you have to be
Exactly.
open to see those warning signs and know when they're there. They're there for a reason, and you should take heed to it.
Absolutely. What's going on, Lauren? Are you ready? I'm coming for you right now. All right,
Well,
the beautiful.
Biggs,
Go
what
ahead.
video are you talking about? Is there a particular video that you're speaking of?
There is. There's a
Hey, Annie.
video. What's going on, Lauren? How are
Not
you?
much. How are
Lauren looking beautiful, A, looking lovely, A.
you? Got my Torrid order in yesterday.
All
Woohoo!
right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
so I
can
see
you
you got the
call
little off the
Torrid,
shoulder.
please, and call Torrid and tell them to get some damn swimsuits, because I don't know what the hell the problem is.
Right. You know what though? I was thinking Hot Topic. Since they're a sister store, they might have some stuff. I don't think they go up to like a size 30 or anything, but maybe. Maybe.
Oh, I didn't know Hot Topic
Well,
was part of Torrid.
Hot Topic is owned, the same company owns Spencer's, owns Hot Topic.
Mm.
Torrid is the plus size version of Hot Topic.
Oh, of Hot Topic. Gotcha. That makes sense. And Spencer's? Then you used to. No, you didn't work in Spencer's, Joy. You worked in
I was a manager at Claire's in high school.
at Claire's. Right, right. Did I let you pierce my ears too?
Yes, you did. And you let me do it twice.
The second time, yes.
You let me do it twice.
I've got 4 piercings because I let one friend do it, and then I let her pierce me too.
Do you have one in each ear, or
I've got 2 in each
I was
ear.
the only black person working at this Claire's, and I was a manager, and they was trying to make it really difficult for me. And in order, like, they was like, oh, you have to pierce 15 people, or you don't pierce these 15 people, whatever. So I was like, Biggs, I was like, well, if one person lets me do it twice, because I only needed 3 more people. And I was like, if one person let me do it twice, will that count as 2? And they was like, well, I guess. And so he let me do it. And then plus my manager at the time had a crush on him. And so that's how I kind of let
trying
it
to get me to
slide.
come in the store.
She'd be like, come here. Oh, you poor baby.
Yes, I know. I knew for some reason she was being very comforting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are you on me? I don't need you to hold my hand. Get off
She
me.
was the type of person to be like, oh, I shouldn't say this. Never mind.
But we don't know what she said. We don't know what her name is.
No, she would be the type of person to be like, like flirt with you, but then be like, oh, I'm not interested in you. You know what I'm saying? She'll be the type to like try to like come onto you, and then when you reciprocate, be like,
yeah, playing around, huh?
Yeah, to get you to be into her, and then so that way she can make it seem like, oh, you want me, but I don't want you.
Right.
Yeah, I've been there.
The worst 2 jobs is retail and fast food. I can't do either one of those.
I'll never do that again. Never. But that was back in the day when you can walk into a place and be like, hey, y'all hiring? And they be like, yeah, come back tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just get a job anywhere. Mm-hmm. You fill out the application. You basically fill out the application after they hire you,
Oh, I love anime. Latangela said she wants a nose ring.
Do it, Latangela. Do it.
I do too, but John.
Really?
Yeah, John doesn't like it, so I buy the photo.
I don't like them either.
Or you can just put it on the side. He hates
it. Looks like a booger in their nose most of the time.
Yeah, I can't get with it. Like,
I have a booger in my nose.
Now, I dated one girl that had her. I think it's called Libre, or this thing right here.
That's weird to me.
No. Yeah, she had a stud there, and sometimes she would put like a diamond there.
Oh, this one is called a
What is that one called?
I know this one's a Medusa. I think this one's just a Libre.
Libre? I think this is your Libre. I don't know. It might be called something like that's what they call the actual piercing, but I don't know what it's called. But they got that. She had that right there, and then But then she went a little further and she had a what it called? She had a it's not really a piercing, but it's body modification where she had a diamond anchored in her
Oh,
chest, like
dermal.
between her a stone between her breasts.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, and at that time we had kind of just we were just friends. We didn't really like talk anymore. But I was like, yeah, I'm glad because that was a little too extreme for me. And like, what
Mm.
happened if it snag on your clothes or something, and then you just rip your chest open? Like, I couldn't see it.
They do look nice when they're put like in with tattoos. Because a lot of people get like flowers or stars and then put a couple dermals in the
In
tattoo.
the
And
tattoo or something like that. Yeah, I
What you
love
mean between
seeing
Big,
your
this.
are you
breasts?
gonna are you planning on show you decided to just show the video, huh?
I'm gonna listen, guys. Okay, so Joy does not want me to show the video.
No, because this video, honest to God, he sent me this video, right? And I was at work, and I was because Biggs has never. That's actually something about me that he doesn't like, and that's when I just send him videos and don't explain what it is.
I
And so
can't stand it.
he's never done that to me. So when he sent me a video, I automatically thought it was gonna be like a safe, like like
Oh,
a video, something safe. Girl, I watched that video. It cried. I took PTO for the rest of the day. That video traumatized me.
I'm scared to see it then. I'm
It's
nervous to see it.
well. Let's go. Biggs, did you want to go ahead and show the
you
video?
ready? Well,
Yeah.
first I just had to address this because I didn't know that.
Can we stop talking
I
about
had no idea.
piercings?
Okay,
That
I'm
don't got
sorry.
nothing to do with what we talking about.
It really doesn't, but I just didn't. Listen. I didn't know. I didn't know. So listen.
Okay.
Okay, so right now I'm gonna let everybody know. This is a disclaimer. That I cut it. I edited. Now, of course, this isn't my footage, but it is footage that's readily available to the public because it's basically footage from it's public footage because it's from the officer's camera, their body
Body
camera.
cam.
So it's body camera. So anybody has you don't have to have rights to it or anything like that. But it was circulating a few weeks ago. So you probably may already know what it is. And if you haven't, I'm going to tell you it is a little bit jarring, but I cut it back to kind of dumb it down. But I'm going to show it. So if you're squeamish or if you're triggered by things like that, then I'd say turn away. But I'm gonna show it so everybody can see it. All right.
I would call 911 immediately if he comes back, and he'll be arrested. Just tell him you made keep that pink piece of paper, show him. I mean, do you feel safe here, or would you rather go to a domestic violence shelter?
So I take the kids and go to my sister's house.
So once you change the locks, even if he called the police, we're going to arrest him, and then then the order of protection will be in effect, and then you have every right to change the locks for your own safety.
So I can change it now?
You can change it now.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I would highly recommend doing that.
Because you have the keys.
Okay. So yeah,
Do you guys want to go in?
we'll go in with you just to make sure he's not here and everything's.
He's going to be back because he got everything. Everything.
Okay. Well, do you want to pack up and go to your sister's now while we're still here?
The kids is in the middle of school.
Well,
Unless I change
if
now.
you can get a locksmith here within, as soon as possible, that's a good idea. Or where does your sister live?
Oh, he's coming. That's him. Let's see.
I would call 911 immediately if he comes back, and he'll be arrested. Just tell him you made.
Okay. So
He came in shooting everybody dead.
he came in firing. Now I do not. I don't understand. I don't know if he just knew that he saw the cop cars and he just automatically knew that she had called and he was just upset and just broke in and was just like, I'm just gonna shoot everybody. Now um, I will tell you that it is jarring. Even now, I get butterflies. Like it's jarring for me to hear that. And I'm someone that I deal with guns all the time. I, it's really jarring, and it's nerve. It makes me nervous hearing that. She's no one died except for the assailant, the guy that was doing the shooting. The husband, he was killed in the incident. One of the officers were wounded, but not mortally wounded. So both officers were fine. Um, and the lady, she didn't get hurt at all, other than just emotionally, of course. But yeah, I mean, it was it was very traumatic for me. Joy, I can't hear you.
The video is way worse than that.
It's way
So Big,
worse.
I was really, really nervous because I didn't see it since he edited it. So the actual video, you can see the police officer getting shot. You can see the blood on the floor. You can hear the gunshots. You can see like and then they also play it from both because there's two officers. There's an
Yeah.
older, heavy set officer, like the more experienced one, and then there's a young guy, and you can see from both perspectives of,
Both perspectives.
and now I think the fat guy, the older guy, was the one who lit him up because the other guy, he was on the ground, he didn't make it. But just for her to be able to come back from there and walk away unscathed is just like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy. But to me, I just felt like when it comes to, as y'all know from last night, I am very much so pro woman. I'm very much so pro wife. I am very much so, I'm not a feminist, but I'm very pro woman. And so I don't know if Biggs and I agree on this. I think we may have differences of opinion because my thing is that when you like, okay, like the real Vivian, she said that, and so did Miss Ronnie. They both said that when they were in relationships with people, they were able to recognize red flags. Well, let's start there. First of all, if you are operating from a place of trauma, you won't always be able to have experience or recognize things like everybody else will. Some
Yeah.
people don't have the luxury of being able to have red flags. And I know that, like, I think Biggs has not to speak for him, but I think he has the position of, you have to take responsibility and you have to, at what point, will you just sit and let somebody be abusive to you? But if you have grown up with something your whole life and you have a pathology in your family of abuse and something looks to be regular to you, how are what if you don't know that it's a red flag because you don't know it's abuse? How do you, not everybody knows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Well,
Not everybody comes from a healthy place where they're able to know that something's not okay. Let me give you an example. I have someone that I know personally. I know her, and a lot of people know her. I'm not going to say her name, but if I were to say her name, you would know her. But she's actually, let's just say she's famous. And her mother calls her big fat black bitch, you ugly bitch, you stupid bitch, you dumb bitch. Like that's how her mother has always talked to her. So when men talk to her like that, she laughs or she thinks it's funny or she goes along with it because her mother was, who's supposed to love her more than anyone, talk to her that way. Her mother's,
Wow.
like, oh, you dumb bitch. Well, you ugly bitch. Get away from me, bitch. Why are you talking to me, you stupid bitch? Like, and I'm not talking about like as a 30-year-old woman. I'm talking about like as a 10-year-old little girl or a 15-year-old little girl. Her mother always talked to her that way. And she
yeah.
didn't know that that was not okay. She didn't know that that was abusive. So
And that's
because
something I hate. I hate that.
like literally the grandmother, her mother would cuss her out like as a child. But would you
Wow.
believe it? Would you believe that she has several children and she's an amazing mom? She doesn't even talk to her kids like, she doesn't even yell at her kids. So to
Yeah.
me, it's kind of like it just depends. Now you may have, like with her, she recognizes what that's like and she doesn't do it to her children, but she still allows other people to do it to her. But then somebody else could have that happen to them and they be the opposite and be cussing their
Mhm.
kids out. You know what I'm saying? It's like, at what point, yes, we have to take responsibility as women, and I'm gonna shut up, but it's like we also have to take responsibility. Like, it takes a village. It's like, are we being good parents? Are we raising our daughters the right way? Are we giving them the correct tools so that they know how to recognize abuse? Are we loving them? Are we, doing what we're supposed to be doing to make sure that that there's not a generational curse of abuse on people? I'm just saying.
Yeah. Now, let me correct Joy. Now I have to correct her in the sense that that's not my stance on this particular subject. I don't believe. I'm a
I didn't know,
very
bro. I didn't know. I was
yeah. No,
just
no,
saying.
no. Now, typically, I am someone that believes in taking responsibility. Even in relationships, in a sense, like Joy and I have had conversations where I'm like, listen, I've been on the brunt of being hurt, being, maybe like emotionally abused and taken advantage of. But at the end of the day, I have to take responsibility for allowing someone to treat me that way. And that's kind of how I understood from our last live in conversation, where like Nurse and Nerd were coming from. But in this situation, I don't think you can judge someone when they're, you never know. Your mentality, your state of mind has a lot to do with what you allow yourself to go through. And there's really is a fight or flight type mechanism in people, but
Mm.
some people don't realize there's also a mechanism that where it's a deer in the headlights. When you're faced with such trauma, some people can't fight or fly. All
Mhm.
they can do is just freeze, and
Yeah.
they are frozen by fear. And so I understand that. I used to be that way.
Mhm.
Um, I grew up in a neighborhood that was very prone to gun violence, to guns. Like unfortunately, like in our neighborhood, it was a lot of older people that eventually they died, and then their kids came and their kids, and it, from went from a great neighborhood to like a neighborhood where the youngins were getting into drugs and all of a sudden, like over the years, our neighborhood went to hell. And
Mm.
so you had like, you know, all around us, like they built a huge what is it? Not ghetto, but a huge projects around the
Mm.
corner from us. And so there was just a lot of drugs, a lot of gun violence. Right down the street, we witnessed someone went at domestic violence. The man came, killed his wife, and shot the
Oh my
daughter.
God, I remember that. And then shot
Literally,
himself.
yes. No,
That was
shot the
across the
husband
street.
across the street. And so we've gone through these things. So I understand it. Like when I would hear the gun, I couldn't even move. One day we were coming in, and my mother was coming in, and I was opening the door and she was getting Joy and coming in, and they raided a drug house that was round the street from us. Well, when they
I remember
raided, they
that.
threw in canisters that were the flash grenades, and they had shotguns, and
Mm.
the boom and the gunfire was so violent and loud that I literally couldn't move. So I couldn't even open the door so my family could get in the house and be safe. I was
Wow.
stuck. And I was a child. I was like maybe 13, 12 or 13 years old. But I still, even to this day, I hated myself because I'm like, what if they ran over here and tried to get and hurt my mom or hurt my sister or hurt me? And it's my fault because I was stuck. And so I was frozen from fear and couldn't open a damn door. So that
Oh.
made me want to get desensitized to guns. And that's why I got into like going to the firing range and learning more about guns and learning how to shoot and things like that to where I could be desensitized to things like that. So I do understand how some people can just freeze from fear. But like the key things that I wanted and why I played the video is because something that really spoke to me. I've watched that video over and over again because I like to study people. And I noticed that in that video, if I don't know if you guys noticed it, but there were several opportunities that the cops gave her. And kudos to those cops because not all cops or police will they're not all bad. And not everyone would take the time and see a woman that in that situation and be so empathetic and sympathetic to her to say, listen, we're here. We'll take you somewhere else. You have somewhere else to go. Let's take you and get you into safety. Let's change. I'll stay here and change the locks for you while we're
Wow.
here. They went that extra mile to do that. And her first statement was, oh, well, I could go to my sister's house, but no, I don't, I just don't want to do that. And then again, they asked her again after they got in the house, well, let's go and get you in the house and make sure. She's like, yeah, can you guys just follow me to make sure he's not here? Okay. They go and get in the house, and then they're like, okay, are you sure you want to stay in this? We can get you somewhere else, or at least change the locks. She's like, well, I could go, but my kids are in school right now. Again, she was hesitant to leave
Mm-hmm.
and she missed and didn't take the opportunity. And then they're like, okay, well, we can help you change the locks. Again, she was still hesitant with that. But at that time, the man, the idiot, then came in shooting up the place. And so I've heard it times before where women will say, well, even my mother was like, I had the conversation with my mom, like, because she went through abuse with my father. But my mom was the type person, like, the women in my family are very strong. And she shot at my dad. She
Oh.
like literally came and she had had enough. And my mom used to keep a little snub nose 22, one of the first guns that I ever shot.
Wow.
And and when I found the gun in the house, I'm like, Mom, you got a gun? She's like, yeah. She's like, it ain't gonna do much damage, but I know I can fire it off. And if you hear it, you know to get back, Jack. And she's like, and then we began to talk about it, and she's like, well, I had to almost shoot your daddy one time.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
You got to do it. Listen, you got to do what you got to do. And I was like, word?
Enough is enough. When
Mama
your
did.
woman get to a
Mama
certain.
did not just. No, Mama didn't just shoot at Daddy. She shot him. She
Oh,
shot him
Oh, I
twice.
don't know.
you don't know, huh,
Mama
Biggs?
shot
I didn't
him.
know.
The story is that
I'm not gonna
the
say that.
story is that this Mama gone now. The story is that Mama shot
Daddy's
Daddy
still
and Daddy
here.
still got, but Daddy got a bullet in his thigh right now from my mama.
Yes, now that I
And
didn't
then
know.
they
Now I
still,
know
and then they
the
stay
story that I
married 10
heard.
more years.
Well, they
Now I don't give a
listen.
damn. You shoot me, I'm out.
Listen, we don't have family been shot,
That's a
been
fair
cut.
standard. That's a fair standard.
Look, right. You ain't even gotta but say you gonna shoot me one time. And
But that just goes to
I'm out.
show he knew he was wrong. That's why he stayed.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I think
That was a
she
tough
got,
video. That was tough.
It was rough. Now I gave a
Yeah.
disclaimer. It was rough. And it was rougher than that. I actually it took me a couple hours to doctor those clips together and put it together to kind of make it, I think it was probably definitely rated R, but for violence. And I think I got it down to, you know, maybe PG. Well, I don't know if it was PG-13, but it was rough. I know. I'm sorry, but I this is the thing that women go through. These are the things that people go through, and I wanted to people to see that, us to see that, and realize that. Imagine what he was doing if he was so bold and brazen to do that to cops, knowing that the police are there. Imagine what he was doing to her in the
When
privacy of their own home.
exactly.
She knew he had
Exactly.
a gun there. So imagine, I'm more than sure that that's not the first time that he's probably pulled a weapon on her.
It,
there's two things. I'm sorry, Vivian. Go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead, ma'am.
Oh no, I am not a ma'am. Oh
I'm
no.
from the South.
No.
I'm in Texas, so
Oh geez. A ma'am is an established lady. I'm not quite there yet.
Okay.
There's just like two things. I don't want to like make light of the situation, but shy. I'm so sorry. I can never pronounce it. I'm bad with words, and English is my first language. I'm sorry. She brought up a really good point that escaping is the most dangerous time for a survivor, and like abso-freaking-lutely, because wherever she went, she knew like he was gonna follow her, and then she was gonna put, or she felt like, because I don't know, she felt like she was gonna put everybody in danger, and because he's gonna go to her sister's house,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
gonna,
That's
he's
true.
gonna go wherever he can, and if he's brazen to go into a house knowing full well police are there and he's not coming back out, he's willing to die to try to kill her. Like that's absolutely just mind-blowing. But I would agree with you, Biggs. That's not the first time he's pulled a weapon on her.
Oh,
I would
absolutely not.
even go as far as to say that like it's not the first time the police have been there.
Absolutely not.
Um
Absolutely not.
oh,
It's rough.
Well, what I wanted to say about it was, I know, like what Joe say about the red flags, and some people don't have the know. I didn't mean anything about it. Wasn't being judgmental or anything like that. Just like with Michelet's story, if you remember her movie, Michelet, the singer, the one that was married to Dr. Dre. Well, I don't know if she was married to him or whatever, but she had seen abuse her whole life. So when she got abused, she didn't think anything was wrong with it.
Yeah.
She didn't think anything was wrong with it.
Right.
And it got really bad where, she had to have surgery and stuff for certain, her jaw and stuff was broken,
Wow.
and she didn't think anything was wrong with that. And then when she went to her, I think on the movie, she went to her people about it, and they was like, well, that's how a man shows that he loves you. So if you're seeing it, you go to your people about it, they tell you ain't nothing wrong with it. What are you to think? Something inside of you is saying is wrong, but when that's your reality. So,
Yeah. So it
but
begins to be normalized. So you've gone through
yeah.
abuse, and that's kind of like what Joy was saying, and what she was trying to articulating is that if that's all you've seen and all you know is abuse, then it becomes normal every day to you. If you used to, that's why I've dated before women that had daughters, and I was really close to, but it was you know I never believed in, and I know you have to have discipline. And listen, I was raised getting whippings. We got whippings.
Oh yeah.
That's just how it is. Now my dad never. I don't think my dad maybe chastised me like once in my life, and I think I lied about setting my grandma couch on fire or something crazy.
Her what on
okay,
fire?
I
all
set
right.
my listen. I was a little pyro when I was a kid.
Oh
That
my.
totally still somebody said still am, but totally different story. I set my grandma couch on fire. It was the outside couch. It was not like her couch that she's staying inside. It was the outside couch. It was
That's one of the
I'm
signs of
pretty
a
sure.
psychopath.
Yes, I'm pretty sure it's
what
the principle of the thing. You know.
Yeah, I lied about it. It wasn't the
Yes.
act. It was the fact that I lied about it. And I was a little kid. But my mom
Well,
definitely
oh no,
no good. What'd you say?
no, go
Tell it,
ahead.
Joy.
So but I
I
never
was gonna,
believed
I was just gonna say I don't think I'm a psychopath because I like animals.
Joy, you could
yeah.
not be a psychopath if you tried. You can't even be mean to a plant.
Um
Okay.
No, like I say, serial killers is they burn up stuff, they kill pets, stuff like
now
that.
I've never
Right,
killed
that's
no
why I
pet.
said because I
I
like
love
pets,
animals.
so I don't
Even
like
even though I don't
you
like
know
cats, I hate cats, but
I
I
love
still would
animals.
never harm an animal. Now I have taken just for fun. I had friends that are in the military, and they give you like a psych eval, and basically to kind of place you on what your job would be in the military. And I did get classified as a shooter, so
Mm,
I could be a sniper.
nice.
I don't know what that means, but um,
I
I
think it means
mean,
you can isolate your emotions. When
yeah.
a job has to be done, you can not get
that
emotional about taking someone out if it had to come.
That
And
is
maybe
me.
that's what these women should do. Be like,
Take them out.
it's
Take these
me
fools
or
out.
you, right? It's me or you. If it come down to it, I'm not gonna live in fear or feel like you're better or stronger than me because you're a man. If you come in here putting your hands on me, I'm gonna shoot your behind up, baby, father my children or not, because it's me or you.
Yeah.
Like a military mentality.
I believe
It's
every woman should be strapped.
Yeah, say it
I
again.
got a gun up in here.
Say it,
Every
say it
woman
again.
and have a piece. And
That was
no,
one of the first things I did was I told my wife, like, listen, matter of fact, when I lived with her, I was like, listen, I have a piece. I carry a gun, keep a gun. She was very adamant. She was like, well, you can't have it here. So I got rid of it. But as the time went on, I got her to go to. Now it didn't work out that great. Another story again. But it there was a lot of tears, a lot of
Hey,
it,
hey, hey,
it
hey,
didn't work out very well.
hey.
But
the
Hey,
kids
hey,
come
hey, hey.
you.
she's gotten to the more where she's more acclimated and ready to go and start learning to shoot. So you strapped, Ronnie.
Yes.
I am too. I went for a 2 mile walk in the forest with my piece in my fanny pack.
Oh, you better. Yeah. You
Nice.
know what happened.
Oh god, a fanny pack. I don't know why that was so
I got
funny.
my piece in the fanny pack. Try me if you like.
Yes, I'm with you, Vivian.
Your fanny pack.
Oh
Oh
man,
yeah.
I
Listen,
love
I
that. Oh
I
god, that makes me so happy.
thoroughly believe in the right. I I went and got my license to carry, and as well as my wife. Um, and matter of fact, I got to go and I've got to renew it now. Um, but I believe in it. I believe in the Second Amendment. I don't believe it's necessary to have like. Now I'm not into like having all those, the assault rifles and having all those big guns. I mean, I can't help. I like it just for the aesthetics, and I don't know what it says about me. I feel kind of weird saying like I'm into guns, but I enjoy shooting. It's a stress reliever for me. I love going to the range and firing off a couple rounds.
Well, back to the topic. Did you guys see the movie for Color Girls with Tyler Perry movie with Janet Jackson?
Yeah, I saw that.
And there
Yeah.
was a domestic violence part in there.
Yeah.
And
That,
they
Is
were
that the
high
guy
school.
that threw the babies? Is that the one that
yeah,
threw the babies off? They
it's
kill the
hard to watch.
babies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he throw
But
the
like
babies
her
out the window or something
situation,
like
he
that?
wasn't always like that. He went to
Yeah.
the war and came back and he was different and depressed and suicidal and alcohol and so but for her to know him her whole life or whatever and for him to change like that, hey Miss Lady, um you got to be, I would think, I'm not trying to be judgmental or sound harsh, but you have to get to a point where it's either him or me and my kids. I have to separate myself from this man and know that I don't want to leave him out in the dirt and leave him out where he's out here by himself going to a VA hospital or whatever the case may be. But
Sean,
if
I just
it's,
saw you. I'm gonna bring you on now. You ready?
huh?
I'm
She's
gonna
already
put Sean.
on.
Oh, okay. All right, Sean. I didn't realize.
She's picking her hair. But,
What? I didn't see you.
Holy.
but I'm just thinking that at a point you have to think this is not going to go anywhere but down from here, you know. But I
That
don't know.
that's true. That's true. I mean, that's valid. Like I said, it's valid for people to look on the outside and look in and
Hmm.
think like, what, why, or what's something that's going on, or why are you staying, or why not get out? But I know someone said in the comments that when you don't know where to go, you don't have anywhere to go, and you don't want to go and live in a shelter.
Or you don't
Um,
have support. Like you don't have a plan. You don't have support. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times you need support. And you need somebody else to say, listen, I got your back and I'm gonna see you through it. It's like sometimes the way that it was explained to me is that it's it's similar with other things that you go through. Like for example, you know, if let's say if you have a child and the child, like when they're not able to walk, you don't just say, oh well, you keep falling down, so fuck it, I'm not gonna help you walk. You like, who does that? Nobody does that. They pick the child up, they keep teaching them. Like with potty training, it's the same way. Like you don't just say, oh well, you're gonna shit on yourself for the rest of your life, I'm out. No one does that. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes when you're dealing with a woman who is powerless, you have to help them get their power back. And sometimes it may take more than once. And sometimes it's going to take a certain level of support, like to have a plan and, you know what I'm saying, to help them. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. But it's just like, how do you do it though? Because sometimes people, I believe that a lot of times there's embarrassment,
Mhm.
there's shame, um, and I believe that sometimes abuse starts. Um, what's going on, Double O? That's all right. Welcome. I appreciate you being here. I believe that abuse starts. It doesn't always just start where somebody just starts kicking you in the face or punching you in the head. I think abuse and people start abusing and starts that abuse through verbally by
Mhm.
putting you
Definitely.
down, beating down your self-esteem to where they can control you and get
Isolation,
isolation.
isolation, isolating
Absolutely.
you, like telling you,
Don't
oh,
want
I
you
don't
being
like
around
that
your
friend.
family.
I don't like
Yeah.
that friend, or don't be talking to your mama all the time. Don't be talking to your brother all the time, or they can't come over here all the time, or I'm tired of them. Every time I come home from work, you got somebody in my house, or they want to get you by yourself. They want to get you in fights with your friends. And I just feel like when you have somebody that needs help, I know that sometimes you have to be careful because there's been times where I've seen women try to help other women and then the husband fucked them up. So
Yeah.
but you've got to have a support system and you have to be there for that person and you not only have to, support them through it, but you've got to have a plan with resources outside of just yourself. If it's something that you can't help them with, you got to get somebody else involved. Like I just feel like it takes a village. That's all I'm saying. It take
It
more
does.
than you. Sometimes you have to look at it and you have to say, you know what, something about this ain't right. Let something's got to happen. Like somebody got to help. Somebody got to care enough to help somebody.
It
I don't
Yeah.
doesn't.
know.
I think a lot of times people care enough to help, but it really comes down to the individual because
Mhm.
It's true.
you can help somebody until the cows come home and they still will go back to an abusive relationship. Now, my mom and her sister, my grandmother was verbally abusive and physically abusive to my mom, not her sister. So my mom
Oh.
brunt of everything because quote unquote she looked like her father. So because my
Yeah.
grandmother was mad at her husband, she took it out on my mom because she looked like him. So
And
my
reminded
aunt
them.
got all the praise and my mom got the abuse, the beatings, all this stuff. And
Wow.
what I always say is, and I say this to John a lot, I'm like, you gotta be strong enough to break the cycle. So my mom was able to break the cycle. She didn't abuse me like she was abused, but her kids, she abused them the same way that my grandmother abused my mother. Not to say that she didn't get the verbal abuse or whatever, but she beat her kids every single day to the point where they were going and getting the switches and bringing them back so she could beat their ass. So she did that, and then their kids did that. So they were not able to break that cycle. So now you got three generations doing that. But my mom was strong enough to break the cycle where all she had to do was yell at me and I was crying in the corner somewhere. So I never got beatings by my mom. It was just that I knew it was right from wrong or whatever. That's how she raised me. But my aunt raised her kids where they got beatings every day, and those kids raised their kids where they got beatings every day, and the cycle just goes on and on. How do you break that? So my aunt wasn't strong enough to be like, oh well, maybe I shouldn't treat my kids that way because I was treated that way. No, she did it. It just perpetuates and over again. So how do you stop that cycle? You have to be strong
Mm.
enough to realize there's a problem and be able to break that cycle. Even if you had people in your corner trying to help you, sometimes people are just like, I can't, I'm not listening, I can't do it for whatever reason. And you just perpetuate the craziness, really.
Yeah,
I had
absolutely.
a homegirl that was in an abusive situation. I tried to help her. Um, she was with a military guy. Now we all went to high school together. She was with him in high school. We were all in the what's it called, the ROTC, the military. He went to the military after high school. We didn't. He came from the service. He did his 4 years. Came and been with her. And she stopped calling. She got isolated. She stopped calling, stopped coming by. So I kept calling, and she wouldn't answer the phone. So I just popped up at the house, and she had a black eye. And I'm at the door, but he wouldn't let her come to the door. And I'm like, well, what's going on? But he let me come in because we went to high school, and he thought that I would tolerate it, that I wouldn't say anything because I was friends of his and the friends of hers. But I was like, oh no, buddy, it's a problem. It's a straight up problem. Because I'm that kind of friend. If I'm your true friend, not your associate. If he gonna beat on you, he gonna beat on me too, because we gonna be in here together fighting. We finna have a brawl of all brawls because I'm your true friend. If you want to stick in this, you're more than welcome to. But if you want to weigh out, I'll be that friend that will drag you up out of here if I have to. So I went in there and I told him, oh no, this is not acceptable. And I told her, come on, girl, get your stuff, get your
Get
S,
your
and
shit.
let's go.
No, get your shit and let's go.
And then he was like, well, what you think you gonna do? I said, do you want to see? Do you want to try me? You obviously hitting on her. She got a black eye. Oh, I had a nightmare in my sleep. I'm a veteran. No, brother, you ain't have no nightmare in your sleep. You're a veteran. Stop using that excuse. That's not an excuse that's going to work for me. No, that's not going to work for me. That you had a nightmare in your sleep all of a sudden, and now she has a black eye. So I was like, he's like, well, what you going to do? I said, me and her is leaving. If she choose to come back, she choose to come back. But as a friend, I want to let you know this is not normal. This is something that you not should accept. And maybe they, like Joy say, they don't know it's not wrong. So I'm the friend to let you know this is not normal. This is not something you should put up with. If you choose to put up with it, I will fight for you. I will ride for you. I will come in here and drag you out of here, and we can tumble until we get out the door. Like, what was that movie where they were tumbling out the door? Oh, the one with Jennifer Lopez.
Oh, enough.
Yeah, enough. Well, they were fighting to get out that door. I would do that for any one of my friends who needed it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm just talking and I'm on mute. I'm just talking
Oh,
all
I'm
kind of
sorry. Go
shit.
ahead,
Oh,
baby girl.
No,
you muted
I
yourself?
didn't realize I was on mute. No, I'm just like, I'm answering your questions and I'm just talking all kind of shit. But no, I agree. I was like, period.
I'm that friend. Let's rumble his ass down. He think he finna beat on something. He gonna have two to fight with tonight. You know what I'm
Well, see,
saying?
that's the
If
kind
you
of
go
friend I
back,
need in
then
my
you go
life.
back.
Somebody who's gonna be fighting with me. You know what I'm saying? Shonda, why you made that face? What do you do to help a friend, or what do you do to help somebody that's going through that?
Um, I mean, my friend went through it, and just whenever she was ready to go, I just came to her and her kids, and I made stuff up, and until she got tired, and I helped her, told her she needed to just get her own place. And eventually, she did, but then he started showing up over there and breaking windows and
so how did he
in the bushes
find?
when she
Yeah,
come
how
out.
did he
How did he
know?
find the new place?
I don't know.
She
I
told
don't
him.
know.
Because people have patterns.
I don't know if she did or not. But he, if she wouldn't have told him, he would have followed her or something because he knew where she worked at. So he would have just followed her or had somebody follow her. He figured it out.
Oh wow.
And
Yeah,
can we
and
also
they finally,
He finally what, Miss
no,
Shonda?
go ahead.
well, they ended up. He was in her house one day, and
Oh
they
my
was
God.
fighting, and they fell through the glass in the patio door. In her
Wow.
patio, they fell through it together. So after that, he was done. I guess she started fighting back, and I guess he
And,
didn't want to fight no
and
more.
that's the
Shonda,
true
what about
sign
when
of a
you
coward.
oh
I'm just saying that's a true sign of a coward. Is oftentimes that they're bullies, and they test the waters
Mhm.
that first hit, and when you don't fight back, then it's like,
Mhm.
oh, I got you. But when you get something and knock them upside the head, or you start to fight back, then you realize like they're they're nothing.
Poison his ass in his sleep. Get on that.
Mhm.
Now,
I'm
now,
sorry.
I
I'm not above
I do
any of
not
that.
condone. No,
Every
I'm
guy
not
I
condoning
got with,
poisoning
I let them
anybody.
know if you put your hands on me, it's the last time you're going to put your hands on anybody. I let them know just straight out the box. Anybody I've dated, I've always said, hands on me, you'll never put your hands on anybody else again. That's just how
Oh
I feel.
yeah, I'm getting that ass. I probably
Oh,
can't get you physically, but I got my gun. If I can't get you with the bullet, I'm getting that ass.
Yeah, you got the
One way
fighting
or
back.
another.
All right, well, I'm gonna welcome Shy. Now Shy is coming on. Shy, thank you for coming on. Are you ready? I'm coming for you right now. All right. So welcome guys, Shy. All right, Shy, thank you for showing up.
Hi,
Our
Sean.
first time on the panel. I appreciate you coming. So Shy, explain to us. You said this is something that
Yeah,
you're involved in and
yeah.
something that you work in.
hmm I am a certified domestic violence and sexual assault advocate for the state of Florida.
Wow.
Basically, I am privileged. That means anytime someone has a private conversation with me in the comfort of my office or by phone, while I'm at work in that capacity, I cannot disclose anything. Not even to law enforcement. If I am called into the court of law, I cannot say anything. Being that means privilege. That means unless you don't have a right to know, we can't say anything to you. Florida has 41 certified domestic violence shelters. Some of them, like the one that I am employed with, are sexual assault also. So there
Wow.
are options. We never, first of all, give advice and say, hey, just leave. First of all, the most critical time for a woman and or man, depending on who's in that relationship, is when they leave. That abuser has lost all power and control over that victim, or what we call them survivors. You're putting that person in what we call high lethality. That means we no longer know what's going to happen, what he's capable of doing. We've actually lost people with advice from friends and family from saying, hey, why don't you just leave? Well, you don't understand what he's capable of. He's lost that. He can't control you anymore. He's no longer controlling the finances. He can't just grab your kids because they're not his kids. So every little piece of advice that you give a woman, we ask that you do so with professionals.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. So you're saying even though yes, you want to help someone who's going through this situation, you say that it's better for you to contact a professional and
Yes.
either seek advice of a professional. How do I help my
Mhm.
loved one or my friend that's going through this? Or bring them to the professional to say,
Mhm.
hey, let's figure this out, how we can get rectify the situation.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm going to direct you to my good friend called Google. Florida Coalition Against Domestic Violence is no longer in existence. However, Florida Coalition Against Sexual Violence is still up and running. They have 24-hour advocacy hotlines, meaning if you want safety planning, if you decide to see a SANE nurse, which is a sexual assault nurse, and domestic, as far as the domestic violence capacity, your best bet is to Google Florida Department of Children and Families Domestic Violence Program. That is who we're under now. Like I said, we're no
Wow.
longer doing for Florida Coalition Against Domestic Violence. If you are not in the state of Florida, I would advise you to go to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. They also have a sexual assault, what we call them dual centers, meaning they serve both purposes, domestic violence and sexual assault. So
Is that
you're
for
good.
every state? I'm trying to find. It's
Yes.
Florida, right? Or
However, I can tell you this. Every state does not have the same programs. For the state of Florida, I
okay.
can tell you this. Some of them have attorney referral programs. Some of them, which is basically legal, any legal questions, you need to file an injunction. You need to get child support or any type of custody that's DV related. They do have those programs, mostly in larger places. However, I work in a rural county, Flagler County, very rural. They have attorneys for the injunctions. However, they may not have those. What is the word I'm looking for? Uh, Landlord tenant. I'll give you that. We don't have attorneys for landlord tenants. So those issues come up as hey, this property is in not only my name, but this property is in his name too. He abused me. There's an injunction. I need to get rid of him. So they may not have the money to do that, but you may be able to get help from legal aid that may be able to assist you with that.
Got it.
Again, I can't tell you about every county. I can only tell you about the counties I've served. But Florida, again, I will say Florida Department of Children and Family Domestic Violence Program. That's who we're under now. So any questions about Florida, you can look that up. I can't tell you about other states. I have no idea.
Okay.
Now I
So
will.
oh, sorry.
No, no, go ahead. Go ahead, please.
So your suggestion as a professional not to
Mhm.
advise your friend just to leave, to
No,
advise your friend to talk to a professional to make a plan.
make a safety
On,
plan. And the reason why I say that is, like I said, I told you the critical aspects of it. Let's look at this. If you don't have food, you not work during the course of that relationship.
Yeah.
Um, you can't drive.
And real
We
quick, I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but also I had a friend who, what this guy did. There's a company called Metropolitan Ministries, and they have a women's shelter there, and sometimes they deal
Mhm.
with, well, they do referrals for women
Yes,
who deal with with the domestic
yes,
violence. And one of the things that I do
mhm,
is I help with women getting their birth certificate, their driver's license,
mm,
their like debit cards and stuff like that, because I know a lot of men, that's something that they will do. They will take your
yes,
ID, they'll take
yes,
your driver's license, they'll take your social security card, they'll take
mm,
all of your stuff, so
mhm,
that way you can't go get an apartment. You can't,
yes,
they'll take your keys, they'll take the kids' stuff, so you can't go enroll them in school. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to mention that there are places that will help you for
yes,
free to
yes,
get your ID, to get your birth certificate, to get stuff like social security cards, stuff like that.
yes.
Yeah. And like
And
something that. Go
that's
ahead. I'm
something.
sorry,
I'm sorry
Sean.
to cut you off, but I am so glad that there are other companies that are willing to partner with agencies like the ones that I work with, because a lot of time we do run into that financial thing, such as right now, one major issue that we're working on, and I would hope we can get together and work with our legislators to know how important. Back in the days, there's this thing called victims compensation. Victim
Yes.
compensation allowed a woman to move, help find
Up to ten
new
thousand
homes.
dollars. Yep.
Yes, 1,500. It was 1,500 back in the days.
Okay.
First, I want to say I won't even go there. I'm gonna just say during my time. During my time, it's been 1,500. During $1,500, they would allow a woman to get a storage unit, well, assist with clothes, food, shelter. However, our legislators, from a lack of funding, but also they were being audited, and they were not able to, I guess, get receipts proving that the funds were used as they were meant to be used. So in return, now it's only up to $1,000, and you can only use it for housing, no
Oh
longer
wow.
food, clothing, U-Haul, any transportation, none of that. So what are we to do? I have no income. I don't
Yep.
have a
what's a
service.
house gonna do if I don't have no food to feed me or my children?
Yeah. And what I
Somebody
want to
tell me.
say, why and what's so important and what's so pertinent about what Sean is saying is that a lot of times these women, because they've been isolated, they don't have jobs because the man wants to keep them isolated, so they don't work.
Yeah.
They want them completely and solely dependent upon them.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not allowed to make your own money. You're not
Yep.
allowed to go out because they don't want anybody influencing you,
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. So there's a lot of time. I have a friend that was being sexually abused, and
Yeah.
it was by her own husband that she was being sexually abused. And he
Yeah.
didn't want her talking to. She wasn't allowed to talk to any male friends. She used to have to hide and talk to me, and we knew each other for years. She couldn't talk to anyone, no one, because he didn't want her any outside influence. So that's why it's so important. I really make sense of what you're saying about, women. They don't have money. You don't. There's nowhere to go. Where do you go?
Yeah. And I can also tell you this, RAINN. If you guys do not hear anything else I'm saying tonight, do remember that, because not only do we serve domestic violence, but sexual assault is also prevalent, whether it's in or out of your relationship. it's out there in the streets. And I just want to raise awareness for both of them. Like I said, I commend you for raising awareness of this topic. Don't want to take over your life, but I'm
No, no,
very
no, no.
passionate about it.
You are
Um,
someone that I wanted here. This is what I hope for. This is what I even put out so that I could get someone like you who's a professional and who knows. You've heard the stories, you've seen it firsthand. You're out there on the front lines. So this is a forum exactly where you can come and partner with me and you will be my voice to get the word out. So no, you're not taking over. Feel free. You listen, you got the mic. You feel free.
But I thank y'all so much. And like I said, Joy has an amazing um partnership with an agency, and I have a new respect for you. It's hard for us. We often we try our best to go out there and we're grinding, we're getting in front of the muscle, we're calling I don't want to call the agency's name because I don't want to lose those partnerships, but we're out there, we're saying, hey, we need help, we need help. They have waiting lists, they have what do you call them, qualifications in order to get some of these programs. So when you're saying, hey, we are a ministry, we are agency that we do help those get those things, that your driver's license, I thank God for
And not
that.
just help, yeah, not just help with words, but through it's through Metropolitan Ministries, not just help with words, but help with funding and finances that will,
Yes,
because I mean, I think a birth certificate, you have to go to the health department, and then in order to get the birth
yep,
certificate, you have to have the ID. In order to get the social security number, you have to have your address, and then you
yeah,
can't change your address right before you order something. So
yeah,
you don't want to be ordering something and then it come to the house and then they see
yeah.
it. I mean, it's just the little things that we would take for granted that you wouldn't
Okay.
even know
And
Yeah,
about.
Lauren, you wanted something. You had something
I'm
to say.
sorry,
No,
Lauren,
no, no.
go
You're
ahead.
okay.
No, no. My questions are for you, Shy. I have two
Uh-huh.
questions for you. One, if someone wants to do the kind of work that you do, how in Florida, I know you can't speak for like
Mhm.
the whole nation, but how is there like a general way that they could go about it, or is it different for different roles?
Like I
Um,
said, there's definitely a national coalition
Mhm.
against domestic violence, but you can also Google your area. You're in Canada, so whew, I definitely can't tell you nothing about Canada. Um, but I
And I
can tell
did
you
put up the national number, by the way. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
that I will have to look for. Like I said, we are 41 center strong in the state of Florida alone. So
Mm.
definitely the national center, I wish I could just call it out. I unfortunately I can't. We do a lot of sister shelters in the area. So if you ask me one of those, I might be able to help a little bit.
yeah.
But I won't even lie to you for that. I can also tell you, go ahead, Lauren, you had another question before I say that part. Go ahead.
I just, do you think from a professional point of view or a personal, however, do you think that the acceptance of violence is kind of ingrained into young women growing up,
Absolutely.
whereas like, you know, the most prevalent explanation or
Mhm.
examples in my mind come to, oh, well, if he pulls your hair, if he hits you, if he kicks you, if he spits on you, whatever,
Mm.
Yeah.
and boys will be boys, and oh, he's just like that. He's just like his dad. Blah, 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 blah. He has his
Mhm.
dad in him. He has
Let
like that whole side
Yeah.
of the family.
let me.
And like in video games, I'm not a gamer. I have respect for people that do,
Mhm.
whatever.
Yeah, take it
But
easy on me. I'm a gamer now. Keep take it
I,
easy
I
on me.
know, I
Take
know,
it
I
easy
know.
on me. I'm a
But
gamer.
like,
I like to shoot
not,
them up. Bang bang. I'm a gamer now. Take it easy on me.
shoot it more like pew pew. But like, what do you do in Grand Theft Auto? You can just light hookers on
Yeah.
fire,
It's true. It's true.
Mhm.
And that
Yeah,
and kids
so
and it's terrible, but that's so true. Where I kind of lost my taste for. I used to love Grand Theft Auto, but
mm,
I saw young kids like actually going, taking the hookers
Mhm.
in cars where they simulate sex, and
Mhm.
then they would go and then kill the hooker and get their money back.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
And
Yeah.
it teaches. And another thing to piggyback off of what you were asking, Lauren, and then I want you to answer a question, Shy. So
Mhm.
have you guys seen where this latest thing to where who was it? It was this guy who said that he spit in a woman's mouth.
Mm?
I
Oh.
haven't
Um
seen it. Well,
so
see, hold on, because my fiance is actually right in front of me, and he works in the hospital, and he's shaking his head. Yes, I haven't, but
so
he
you've
has.
seen it. Okay, so he's seen it. He can come on too, because I need tell him I need him to come too because I need more fellas in here
He's
with
doing
me.
this. Okay. Well, can
Listen,
you
it's
talk so they can
does he
hear you?
remember? Ask him. Does he remember who it was? What's the guy's name?
Do you remember?
Was it Trey Songs?
Trey. Yes.
Yeah. He
Trey
Oh,
said
Song.
that's what, yeah, he just said Trey Songz.
So then after that, now it's a thing to where women are going to concerts and having to pull their hair and spit in their mouth, and they're
Yeah.
asking for it,
That's nasty. First,
asking for it.
oh, it is
They
inhumane.
black women. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm really not.
one of them was a black woman. One of them,
Yeah. One of
Oh my
and they
that
goodness.
were
he
on
did
their knees looking up to him like he was a god or something.
Trey.
Overly
Have you
sexualized.
seen that? I've never seen
Well, that's
Yeah,
like
I
R.
don't want
Kelly
to see no
too.
shit like that, man. That shit is nasty, man.
that. I don't
Listen,
want
I'm
to see
sorry,
it
but and
because
you know, see, I can't. See, that's
it
what
listen.
I can't
is.
fucking deal with,
But
man. That
it
shit is
goes to the
crazy.
point of what Lauren is saying. It's been ingrained.
Mhm.
Now women, I'm not, and ladies, y'all might hate me. Y'all might, but this 50 Shades of Grey,
No,
50
don't you go
Shades.
there.
That don't got
Don't
shit
do
to
it.
do with that.
Listen, no,
That
no,
don't got
no.
nothing
Now
to do with
Hold
let's
that.
talk
on.
about it. Let's
No,
get
That doesn't
real.
have anything to do with
no.
that.
Listen, it's perfect segue. 50 Shades of Grey,
No,
where
that
you
doesn't
get
have anything to
listen,
do with that.
No, it doesn't.
No, I'm not gonna let you say
listen.
that because no,
Well,
because
look, I know. Listen,
BDSM.
you can. What
Wait,
you got? Listen, it's uncut. I can say what I want. Now you can.
but
You
no,
can.
but I'm saying no, I'm not. I didn't mean it like that. Let me correct
Okay.
myself. What I'm saying
Never
is
gonna
I
be family court.
disagree. What I'm
Okay.
saying is I disagree. Lauren, put your hand down. We gonna
Okay.
fix
Just
See,
you. I
talk.
can't
no,
stand
Just
stop
that.
talk.
flashing.
Just talk.
what's
Ain't nobody done.
this?
Why you keep raising your hand? You do
Cause
not
she's
have to say
polite.
it, man.
She's
The
polite.
Canadian in me, Joy, I can't just yell out stuff. I can't do it.
Yell it
You
out.
can.
I
Scream
Look,
can't
it.
do it.
we gonna rub some of this black off on you, Lauren, and you're just
Oh
gonna
Right.
start
yeah.
yelling. You're gonna be in the middle of the light, just yeah, just for no reason.
Oh my god.
What do you want to say, honey?
No, no, you go ahead. You go ahead.
No, what I'm saying is that to me, BDSM, in the BDSM world,
Mhm.
Yeah.
things are nothing like that.
No,
Yeah.
now that's true,
People do not, in the BDSM world, people are very respectful
but
of
follow
Right.
me
people.
though. But
They are
follow me.
completely
Do you
different
not? Do you
than
not
that.
believe though? It is sensationalizing and making a picture of not everybody knows the BDSM world. They don't realize that there is a
Mhm.
relationship between someone, the masochist or the person that delves out the punishment and the person that the submissive that takes the punishment. There's a relationship there. There's a trust there. There's what do they call it? A consent given for that. But see, they didn't put shine the light on that part of it. They shine the light on sensationalizing and sexualizing the oh he spanked me and and pull me and rough me up, take me. Go ahead,
Hold
Shy.
on. I'm gonna do like Lauren. I'm gonna raise my hand.
Don't do
Um,
that. We don't do that here. Come
Now you
on.
this,
ain't got no excuse, Shy.
this person say I agree with the panel, but when you leave and go away for 14 years in a different state and come back and visit a person as a friend, they murder you. What type of person is that? See, first of all, I commend a person for being able to leave for 14 years, but to come back, one, we're human. And I don't ever want to what we call victim blame because that's
Yeah,
how I take it. We're victim blame. We're blaming that victim.
yeah.
But here's my take on that. Um just because you give a person time does not necessarily mean it heals all wounds. If a person call you, oh, I just want to be your friend, baby, I love you. I ain't mean that, but you know what? We gonna move past it. Let's start up our friendship. Oh, you look good today. Let me give you some money because I know you've been having hard. You should come back here. You know what? You can really have a better life if you just give me a chance. But then again, we trying to be friends. You just sent me two, three different things in that one whole conversation. So it's normal, like I said, 7 times. Anything I say to you, verify, go look it up. 7 times before a woman gets enough and she does not go back. So we do see a lot of times. I may see a participant in one county, turn around again. I'm gonna see them in another county because one, they're embarrassed, they're afraid that we're gonna judge them. Of course, we're not. This is why we're here. We understand the dynamics of abuse. We also understand what it looks like. So when a person leaves and comes back, I can't blame that victim to say, "Oh, he had," or she shouldn't have went back, or he shouldn't have went back. I seen men. My fiance and I talked about this last night. He said, have you ever really seen males, heterosexual males? I said, absolutely. I can remember one. I won't give his story because, like I said, that's his story. Broke my heart. I'm talking 2018. I still remember it to this day. And I
Wow.
remember vividly, word for word, a grown
Man.
man, a
Yes.
grown man. And I respect, and I was saying to myself, when I seen who the female was, I was saying to, this man can kill her if he touch her.
Yeah.
But he was man enough not to. He
Not
was
to.
man
Mm.
enough to go
And
get help.
I'm so glad you said that because that's another point that I wanted to put because that's why I've tried to make sure that I didn't say women, but it's people, even though I wanted the focus to be on women, but men go through sexual violence and they
Yeah.
go through domestic violence by not just other men, but by women.
Mm-hmm.
I've been
It's
abused by a
Exactly.
woman before.
huh? What?
Listen, I and it's hard to say, but because like I'm so serious about it. Shut up, Joy,
Why is she looking like that?
because she's stupid and I can't stand her. It's
Oh
not funny. I'm being so
no.
serious.
Oh, look, she's talking
I
shit
was
down there. Look
working.
at her.
I was working, and I was a manager of a big call center, and we used to have pods where you would there was pods to where it looked like almost like an octopus, but when you go in the pod there was like a little walkway, and when you go in there's three seats. There's one on the left, one on the right, and then there's one in the middle. But like the person on the left, they could kind of be ducked down in there because and you couldn't really see them unless you came around and looked. Well, I had this one woman that she was she was a truck driver. She was very she was a big girl, but for
Okay.
some reason she took fancy with me.
Not
And
fancy, but okay.
when I used to come and do monitorings and sit and side by sides, and I would go and sit by her, she would like touch me and grab on me, grab my grab my ass, hit me on the butt. I'd be like,
What?
I know she don't see this, but her name was Clara. I'd be like, um, it's Clara. Like, okay. And then because you laugh it off and you joke and you make a joke because you I was embarrassed
I just read
and
Joy comment. I'm sorry.
she's an idiot. Listen.
Well, it obviously made you feel some kind of way.
Listen, the thing what I'm trying to get across, and I tell you guys, listen, I tell you guys I probably should write a book with all the stories and shit that I've been through, but I tell you that because I know that women go through it. It's because you feel shame. And sometimes you laugh it off or you joke it off because you don't know what else to do. And
Hmm.
so,
That's true.
listen,
Yeah.
forget you, Joy. This person made me feel so uncomfortable. Literally, they used to grab me and say,
Oh
like,
Lord,
they
no.
would say, like, I'm gonna rape you. And I'm like, being a man, I'm like, what do you say? Because you can't go and say that to somebody. They would exactly what y'all, they would laugh you out.
But no, I'm
They'll
laughing
No,
at
shame
we're
Joy.
you.
laughing at Joy.
I'm
We're not
not
laughing at you.
laughing.
That's not
We're
funny.
laughing, definitely laughing at
Listen,
Joy.
but Joy is stupid. But that's what you will encounter. And unfortunately, that's what some women also
Yeah.
encounter when they go and they say they reach out to someone and say, well, this person make me feel uncomfortable. Or
Mm,
there's that shame and that stigma and that judgment to where it makes them they don't want to go out and
Mm.
reach out and get help. Finish what you were
mm.
saying, Todd.
Wait, who was talking? I'm
I
sorry.
thought you were talking.
Oh, no,
I
no,
thought
no,
maybe I interrupted
no.
somebody.
No, but
Well, you were saying
definitely,
about the guy that was he being abused?
yeah, yeah. He
Oh.
was, and he, like I said, I'm very careful about where I go in that story. But this was somebody he dated in the past. It wasn't somebody he was currently with.
Mm.
So how would she abuse him? She would come to his house and
Work, house, didn't matter.
I done
Um,
had that too. And Joy
right.
told him, and Joy
oh, so
gave him
he
my
dumped
phone
her,
number.
and she was still having some feelings, and so she would. Oh,
Well, well, no, I would say this. Like I said, leaving is the critical, and like I said, I'm careful where I'm going with this story.
Mm.
Leaving is a very critical time in a relationship. So if there's abuse going on prior to leaving, imagine how it's going to escalate when they leave. Oh, you left me? Oh, you won't
Oh.
have a job. Because guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna show up to your job, I'm flashing your tires, I'm busting windows out, I'm carving my name in your seat.
True.
And there's really no laws that prevent them from doing that besides restraining orders. And by the time the police get
They
there,
don't do
That's a good question.
that's a scary part of it.
That's a really good question.
And
Shy, do
that's
you know?
one of those things that we always say is document as best as you can. Of course, if a situation is unsafe, I'm not going to tell you, oh no, you stay there, grab your phone, and tell them, don't you touch me while holding the camera in their face. But the best thing you can do is document. Document is going to look good on your behalf when you go in front of a judge. If you can't say, well, I can't tell you exactly how it happened, but you can read from keeping a diary. You can catch them and record it. Let them know, of course, because you definitely have to have consent from both sides when you're recording. So either they're gonna stop what they're doing or they're gonna be on camera. Your choice. But if
You can also send a text message and then delete it from your phone.
yes, but here's another thing: pictures. If you have any pictures of your abuse, document that too. You don't necessarily have to say, hey, I'm gonna go take this to law enforcement right now. I wouldn't even tell them, oh, well, I got pictures of the last time you hit me. No, take pictures of. There's a woman by the name of Susan Steele, I want to say it's her name. She did a 2020 episode years ago. I'm gonna verify that, and I might have to pick up on it days later and give it to your host to make sure that I'm giving y'all the correct information. Her name definitely was Susan. I can tell you that. The way that she documented her abuse, she did a training here in Florida. My agency was blessed enough to be a part of that training. But she said the way when she documented her abuse, she put it in an envelope and she gave it to her boss. So while she was leaving, she was going through changes, trying to get away from her now ex-husband. It wasn't her that decided to reach out and get help. It was the boss that said, hey, she thought about it. She was like, Susan gave me something in this envelope. She opened the envelope, and of course, here's documentation. Now, her child recorded the parent being abused. That's how she eventually won her case.
Wow. So so how does it? So it doesn't. So if someone else records it,
yes,
both parties, it's different.
Again, my man is back here. He's not going to talk, but he, like I said, he's in the med field. He works at a local hospital. He said he would advise anybody to let a doctor record it. Continuously go to the doctor, get as much documentation as you can. Let them record abuse, such as physical marks, emotional. Just get your story out, but definitely you take control of your own situation. I would tell you, don't go to a friend that's gonna be like, oh, F that, let's go mess him up or let's go call the police, because we don't know what that situation is gonna look like for your friend. I might call the police to help you. He might come out to investigate, but again, what if I have a place to stay? The shelter in my area where my kids go to school at may be full to capacity. This is COVID time, so shelters at max capacity. We're also operating at half of that because we want to be safe. So imagine the strain that we're put on alone. So definitely don't tell your friend, well, just leave him. Can she say it's your home?
She should be able to. If you're if you're telling your friend to leave him and you're down, you need to be able to offer shelter.
Exactly.
But you're right. I may be coming a little more ratchet than your advice because you're a professional. Maybe I need to step back because I'm leading by a place of emotion. by
Yeah.
hurt. Like I don't want my friend to be hurt, so I'm leading out emotion instead of out of wisdom and smarts. Like you're saying, to get a professional involved, get an extra
Yeah.
strategy. Mine's is more raw, 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 guns, and maybe that's not the way to go. You know what I'm saying? That's
You got
probably
Mhm.
that
not the
fanny
way to
pack
go.
power. That's what you got.
Yes, I'm sure
Huh?
as a professional, Shy
You got the
cannot
fanny
advise
pack
you
power.
to go get your
Yeah, I
gun.
think my way maybe not the right way. So anybody in here, please don't take my way. My way is really ratchet and really wrong. Um, like she said, to get a professional, and a professional will give you the steps. So are you guys turning
Well,
people
actually, we
away?
safety plan with them. I will tell you this: we safety plan with them. What that safety plan looked like. And when I first got involved with this, I'll share a brief story how I got into it. I got into it coming out of my undergraduate degree, and I was googling stuff, and
Yes.
I'm just gonna go intern somewhere. You know, looking in my area again, I'm from a very rural country town by the name of Palatka. Y'all let that sink in for a second.
Placa. Oh,
Palatka.
ain't that here in Florida?
Yeah, I'm from
Placa.
Palatka.
Palaka.
I know
So
Placa.
you know. So you know. So
Well, how many
yeah,
street? I mean, how many street lights y'all got in Palaca?
don't do that. Don't do that.
Ah!
But but
Y'all
yeah,
got street
so
lights?
I start Googling stuff, and here it is. Next thing you know, I see this place say domestic violence. I'm like, wait, but there are people that get beat up. So I contact to the program director at the time, and the rest is history. But one story that stuck, I had a lot of questions, y'all. The things I would say, well, why don't she leave, or why she keep saying that she could have did something differently? Well, that's his fault. All the dynamics of abuse. I can't advise you guys to defend yourselves with weapons. However, I can say if you are a law abiding citizen, there is nothing stopping you from owning protection. That's all I said. However, the two are unrelated.
Oh, can we also touch on like the biology of everything? And this goes for domestic violence and sexual abuse. Like the way your body responds biologically does not mean you liked it, does not mean anything. Your body is doing what is biologically engineered to do. So if you're sexually assaulted and you do have an orgasm or
Yeah,
something happens, that does not mean you like it. That does not mean you are ashamed
absolutely.
of it.
That's
Absolutely not. And I just
Thank you
nobody
for
touches
saying
on
that.
that.
That's important. That's
Yeah,
very
you're right,
true.
Miss Thornton.
That's very
Do
true.
you know a lot of men will not come forward because they'll say, well, I ejaculated. It's nothing to be embarrassed of. Your body is responding naturally.
Yep.
That is very important to know that, And the guys, when they're getting domestic violent abuse, it's like, as a woman, like, say if I was a friend of a man, how would I tell him, because that's like, his manhood, and he could take
Hmm.
her if he wanted to, but he's choosing not to. Am I supposed to congratulate him? But of course, like you said, get a professional, or I would tell him to get out. But that's
Yeah.
just a different
Hmm.
realm that I wouldn't even feel comfortable even stepping in. Besides
Well,
trying to be a
we as
friend.
people, we naturally safety plan with ourselves. We are our own best advocates. This is where I
Yeah.
was really going with my story of how I got into it. I'm long winded. Bear with me. Um, But this is what I was saying when I first got into it. I used to say, well, why would she offer him more beer? Well, beer keeps him calm. He's sitting now, he has a beer, he's full, he's watching a football game. When it goes off, he goes to sleep. Guess what? She's alive for one more night.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hi, Joy.
Wow. That makes so much sense.
Joy, what happened with his story?
I can't.
Listen,
I couldn't sit through that.
I don't understand.
I just
It
couldn't.
it
No,
happens for
but
real.
when I'm tired, my patience start getting real low. So that's why I tried this. I had to go because Chad is tripping.
Why
Now
am I
you
tripping?
Oh,
Biggs, now
How am I
you know
tripping?
that lady. Now you know why you now Biggs.
What?
No, I didn't come back for that. I'm not. Mm-mm.
Okay, my bad. Well, I
I'm
don't think
down to
anyone
no,
should
no,
be.
no, no. You didn't do nothing wrong, the real Dizzy. It's my brother, man. He
I didn't do
first of
nothing wrong
all,
either.
yes, you did. Biggs has this habit where he doesn't like to hurt people's feelings. And so he doesn't like to always like I don't know what it is, but he just doesn't like to be like frank with people sometimes and just tell them like, listen, bitch, stop. You're crazy, you're weird, like leave me alone. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't give like that hard press like
Now I feel like you're
leave me alone.
victim shaming me. So what am I? I wouldn't feel comfortable. What if I said, "Oh well, stop touching me. You get off me." Like I don't know. I honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. I did not know how to tell her to like every time I would tell her to stop or leave me or stop playing. Of course, I'll be laughing, jokingly saying it and stuff like that. But I was
Well,
serious. But what do
well,
you
I
do?
can tell you this. A lot of people laugh. A lot of times when somebody's tickling you, you say stop.
But you
You
hate it,
laughing. You're
right?
laughing, but you might really want them to stop. I
Stop.
just lost
Yes.
control of my body. What you tickling me? But I want you to stop. I'm tickled. I'm rolling. I'm laughing, but I still want you to
I
stop.
really want you to stop. Like I really want to punch you in the face because I hate being tickled.
Mm.
Right. And that's the same case for me. I guess for me, I understand where he's coming from. You have that natural, oh, I'm giggling, I'm laughing, but somebody just took something from me. I still want you to
The
stop.
laughter is hiding like a little bit of shame, a
Yes.
little
Mhm.
bit of nervousness because I really don't know
Hmm.
what to do. Like you just kind of put me on spot.
And
We're
not
in,
wanting
we're
to
on a
embarrass
floor
that other
of
person.
we're on the floor of a lot of people. There's two other people right here, like watching, and they think it's funny. Everybody thinks it's funny, and it's cute. But that's what makes me sensitive and to understand what. Not gonna put myself and say, "Oh, what I went through is what women go through." Not saying that by any means.
Well, everybody's story different. One, I would never compare your story to another person's, and I would
No.
definitely not say one story is greater or lesser. That being,
Mhm.
I don't care what type of uncomfortable touching that you've experienced, your story is just as important as a woman who went through something a little deeper.
Yeah.
I wouldn't minimize your story at all.
But
And
that's what makes
unwanted
me
touch is unwanted
understanding. I'm more empathetic and sympathetic to when like some people try to victimize or shame the person and say, "Well, you knew what was going
Mm,
on. Why didn't you stop? Or why didn't you?" Because the mind is a crazy thing. Like there's so many things emotionally that where you it logically, yeah, you should say stop. Don't do
mhm.
that. I don't appreciate it.
Well, hold on.
But it's not always just that easy.
Let me tell you about this thing called Florida State statutes. I don't know about other states. Again, I will tell you about Florida. In Florida, you ain't got to say the word no. Facts. You can
Wow.
indicate no. You can step aside. You can move over. You can look at the person. If you indicate the word no without saying the word no, you can be charged.
Wow. Say it again.
Yes, you can be charged. I don't have to say no. You should know. I'm giving you the look. I'm pulling back. I'm moving your hand. I'm uncomfortable, but I'm still shimmying out the way. Stop.
Guys in clubs,
I'm
grabbing women.
right. No means no. That side eye stop. That means no. If I move your hand, if I move out of your way, all of this is me saying no. I don't have to say no. This is my body, better known as my person in my line of work. This is my person. Don't touch it. I didn't invite you. And guess what? Here's another thing. State of Florida again, can't tell you about nothing else. Consent can be withdrawn at any time.
Absolutely.
Wow.
We
It's the
can be
same
in
here
the
in
middle
Florida.
of foreplay. We could be in the middle of intimate and raw 50 Shades of Grey. I would say stop. Guess what? Stop.
Yep.
Wow.
Same here. Consent. There was a video or an infographic that said consent is like a cup of tea. You can want a cup of tea, and then halfway through that person making that cup of tea, you can decide you don't want it anymore,
Yeah.
and that's okay because you don't have to have a cup of tea if you don't want a cup of tea.
Send me that,
Mhm.
Lauren. I can share that with my office on Monday.
I will. I'll try. I gotta try to find it. It's a couple years old, but I'll find it for you. But like,
There's a training going on. I gotta find that training and I'll get it to you, Biggs. We're
Please
watching this
do.
movie called oh my God, it happened is Ruby McCullum. It's a story that happened right here in Florida. Ruby McCullum was pretty much I don't want to give away too much. I seen the documentary, but we have to watch this documentary. And it's for the sexual, oh my God, is it Evawi? I'm not sure if it's Evawi or who's putting on the training,
Right.
but I just got the link that it's $8 for the general public. If you are a student, it's $6. Like I said, I will get this to you no later than Monday.
That would be great. That might be a
You,
good thing for Patreon, Joy.
Mhm.
I thought about it, but that's Joy Baby. I ain't gonna touch that. But definitely, we're watching
It's
this
a movie.
documentary and we're going to have conversation about it.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, we can definitely do it. Listen, these girls got me here reading fucking books. Why not?
You
We watching
brought that book
movies.
club up. Don't you dare.
We have no, I didn't bring the book club up. I think it was Shay.
Was it?
It was Shay. It was Shay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
I'm
think it
sorry.
was Shay who wanted to do it.
Nope.
Yeah.
Try to throw you under the steamroller again. I'm sorry.
You love throwing me under the bus.
As much as you love throwing me under the steamroller and kicking that baby into high speed.
Anyway.
Well, let's
But
discuss
yeah, no,
like
I
some red
will.
flags that we think that are red flags. Maybe we can say that. So if someone is dating someone or going on a date, they don't think nothing of it. But if we
Yeah.
mention it as a red flag, maybe that'll get their eyebrow raised or something.
Oh, thank you for mentioning the red flags. Some of the
Well,
basic
Shonda.
ones are
Oh.
Okay, that's not good.
Oh no, sir.
No!
Wait a minute, we were just talking.
That's what I told him. I said, "That's what we're talking about. Don't come in here. Don't come in here and start no bullshit."
I'm saying, you guys, the white people are crazy.
You should know.
Right? Right?
Joy, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
Oh, what's going on, man?
No, because I was like, no. I'm sitting up here, I'm like, Ronnie, no. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Oh wait. Well,
Don't you make
Now,
Vivian
wait,
pull her
now,
fanny
they're
pack
a
in?
happily married couple. That might be
Why
their.
you, don't be talking about fanny pack, girl. Don't be talking
That
about
might be
fanny
their
pack.
thing now. That might be something different.
Glasses on just so nobody knows me, hide my identity.
listen,
Long lost member of Duck Dynasty.
Miss Ronnie, don't be upset.
Wow.
Don't be
I'm not
upset.
gonna let you do my boy
Miss
John like that.
Ronnie.
Now. I'm not gonna let you do my boy like that.
John, we don't know you, but we done heard a lot about you. You was about to go missing.
Hi, studio. Sorry.
What's going on, studio?
I was muted. Hey.
Shonda, Lynn. Shonda, you so quiet. You must be tired.
Yes,
You tired?
no, I'm listening.
What do you think about, like, you remember, I don't know if you remember, but when we was talking about Travis, I don't want to bring it up if you don't want to talk about it.
What?
Who's
Well,
Travis?
Talk about
Mm-mm.
what?
Mm-mm.
Huh?
What? Oh, she's talking to somebody else.
Oh, okay. I thought they was talking to me. No,
You talking
because
about my situation?
well, when we was talking about it, I remember you telling me that it didn't happen like all at once. That there was because we talking about red flags or whatever, and I didn't know if you felt comfortable talking about it. But I know you remember you telling me like that there was a lot of things. That's one thing that you told me was that there was a lot of things that you did that you should have recognized, but you overlooked. Like
Right.
before things
Well-
got really bad.
Right. One of the very first things was when I realized that most of what he told me was lies. I should have just stopped talking. Where he, whose apartment it is, whose car it is, where he work, where he don't work, where he's at. He live at his grandma's house, but not really. And what's all of everything. It wasn't he told me that was true. And as time went on, he did try to isolate me a little bit because he claimed I'm just a evil person. I'm just not, I'm not a big family person. I just wanted to be me and you. And to me, it made me feel special. So I didn't mind. And over time, he would do like some, hey studio, like some bipolar type stuff. Like one minute I'm the love of his life, and the next I'm a snake bitch. And I'm like,
What?
how he, girl,
Just that
that man
quick
was
switch
calling me
on you.
everything. Next minute I'm an angel. And I saved his life, and he loved me, and I'm the best thing ever happened to him. And the next minute he hate my guts. And
Wow.
What would
um
change? What would
and
change that
he
would
Yeah, what would
sometimes it would be nothing. Sometimes we would be chilling, and he would be like, you know what? I'm like, what? You a snake ass bitch. I'd be like, what?
Oh
And I'm just
man.
and I'm goofy. So to me, I'm like, you tripping, you so crazy. But he was serious. He wasn't playing with me.
right,
mm,
right. Because you thought
And
maybe
so
he's
to
joking.
me,
Are you laughing it off?
well, I thought it was just him being silly, or not even so much silly because I knew he was being serious, but that it didn't mean exactly what he was saying. He's just talking stupid. But he wasn't drunk,
Mm.
high, none of that. Chilling, and all of a sudden I'm a bitch, a snake bitch, a hoe, all this other stuff.
Mm.
So you would just be sitting there like y'all wouldn't even be talking, and he would just say that.
Yeah, yeah. And that happened plenty of times where all of a sudden he just look at me and he like he hates my guts. And you know, and so it kind of distanced us from each other. We stopped sleeping in bed together. He was sleeping in the den, but we would interact with each other how he wanted us to interact when he felt like it.
Was he
And
bipolar?
so I
So
kind of just let.
what I'm hearing you say is extreme narcissism is what it sounds like to me, like somebody who's very overly narcissistic, and then also somebody who was very like emotionally unstable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, all of that is something is wrong with that, and it got to a place where I start reacting in a negative way that he like, and then his behavior would escalate. He would be mad or mean or treat me rude longer or talk to me and say even, it would just get bad, worse than, before. And he would find every time it was a new reason why he did it. Well, you was on the phone and I thought you was saying something about me and I don't appreciate that. Then the next time you too fat. And then the next time this and that, and something else.
it's always your
And
fault.
yeah, that's why
It
he
was
treated me bad.
escalating.
Until one day I just decided I was tired. And what did he do? Well, first off, he tricked me into putting a car that was in my name in his name. And so I threw the car keys or something. And then he threw my cell phone. So then I threw his laptop. And we start fighting. He chased me around the dining room table and tackled me. And we start fighting. And I told you, like, once I got on top of him. I was a whole lot of pounds, about 500
Yeah,
pounds, and he was about to get suffocated because we had
yeah.
never had a physical altercation. That was our first time. And so once I got the upper hand, I wanted to kill him because he had made me so angry and he was so acting confused. Why are you doing this to me? I can't believe you would get on top of me, put your hands on my neck like that. And all of that after he'd been so nasty to me for
Now
5
he's a
years.
victim. Now he's playing the victim.
Right. Yeah. You too big to be on top of me. I got breathing problem because he smoked a bunch of cigarettes so he couldn't breathe.
You
And
had Chandler and Chauncey. You had the kids.
yeah, girl, this was like maybe 11, 12 years ago.
Oh,
My
okay.
kids almost they're 19 years old. They was at
Oh,
school.
okay.
He never did it in front of my kids. So my kids could never go tell nobody that he's mean. He only did it when they was asleep or not here.
Oh.
And so everybody probably thought I was just crazy because my kids would have told. But he didn't do that in front of them. And would never tell them that. But after I was gonna kill him and change my mind because I didn't want to go to prison, even though I really still should have murdered him.
Wow. Wow. Okay. I understand.
What? No, he tortured me. No, he deserved that. But anyways, when I got off of him, he came through my house and everything on the wall, on a shelf, on a counter. He threw it all over the whole house, all over the floor. And then I threw one thing at his. He called police on me. When the police came, they told him he needed to leave. And I went and got a restraining order. Do you know this man? He knew I worked night shift. He was coming to my job every night that I worked, popping my tires and busting my windows out. He
Oh
was
my
at my
goodness.
house.
Wow.
Every last one of these windows in my house been busted out.
Wow.
He done
Oh,
threw
so
stuff.
this is at the place that you live. You still at
Yes, right
the same
now.
place you live now. Wow.
Yes. He
Wow.
let the water run. He opened up all my windows and doors, left them standing wide open. He would break in and just do whatever because he lived here with me for 5 years. He knew how to get in and how to kick the door and just right and all that stuff. And I kept calling the police, and guess what they tell you? Well, you got a restraining order, and if you happen to see him, if you shoot him, make sure he's inside of your house and not outside.
Wow.
Coming to my job, pissing my car,
Now,
stealing the mail
Shy,
out the mailbox on the street.
is that something that you hear a lot, Shy, where people where you hear that from police or when women who have, like she said, she went to the police. She did the right thing. She did everything right.
The
She
police
filed for
every
restraint.
time he did to my house in my car, I called police. They did nothing.
I can tell you this. We have a long way to go. Fortunately, in our state, nurses, police officers, teachers, they have to go through a certain amount of CEUs or continuing education units to maintain their certification, licensing before they're able to practice any of those fields. Um, I sat down one time. I had a law enforcement officer in the same training that I told you about, the lady named Susan. And this officer said, well, they keep calling him when we show up. She don't never want him arrested. In that moment, there's a really, really good documentary that I watched not too long ago right here on YouTube. And this uh, this state attorney, he said it perfectly in a way that I can't even say it myself. In that moment, she just want it to stop. You hear it often. Law enforcement officers, unfortunately, they fail our victims a lot, but not all of them. I'm not going to talk bad about all of them because they need that training. They need that help because they may mean the difference between getting out or staying in.
Shy, do you agree with the position? And I know we got to wrap this up. I think we got like 3 minutes left. But do you agree with the position that police officers should have a level of training, but not only have a level of psychiatric training, but do you believe that there should also be police officers that are specialized in
Yes,
different, you know, like that?
yes.
If I, to me, in my opinion, if they would have police officers, because these police officers are not trained how to deal with mental health
Mm-hmm.
issues. They're really not. And that's why a lot of times you have a lot of, and this doesn't have anything to do with,
Mm-hmm.
well, maybe it does, but that's why a lot of times you have a lot of African American people who have mental health issues who are getting shot
Yes.
and murdered
Yeah.
and killed because they are not trained. And I just feel like, should the police officers be getting this type of
Yes.
training,
They
or
have
should there
to.
be
They have to.
specialized? Oh, okay.
In this state, they have to. We do community trainings often. Like I said, the doctors, your nurses, your teachers, your police officers, they have to. You do not maintain a Florida, I don't even know what is it called, this officer, you know. By the way, my man's getting in an academy, y'all. So he the law enforcement man back there.
Okay.
What is it? What is it called?
Oh,
Is it a certification? I don't know what it is. That ain't my line. The law enforcement thing. What is it? A
Power
license?
couple. I love to see a power couple. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Black love.
Honey, I don't know about love, honey. We argue like cats and dogs, but
That's
yeah.
when
Look,
you know it's
Joy,
love.
look,
That's
me and
when
Joy
you know
argue
it's
like cats and
real.
dogs. We love each other.
Listen.
Listen. I will hurt you about Biggs, and Biggs will hurt you about me.
That sure will
Oh.
put you
I
in the
will hurt you
ground.
about Biggs.
But
But yeah, I can't. I mean, I can tell you here they have to. Now, I can't. Again, that's my story. Y'all know me. I'm gonna sing that song. I can't tell you about nowhere else, but I definitely think it should be mainstream. Like I said, our legislators got to do a better job because we
it's
are
true.
dropping the ball. I
It's
just,
true.
Shonda, your story breaks my heart personally because that your contact with law enforcement means it was a cry for help. If you have an injunction for protection, to me, that means at that point, if you seen him, you caught him, you don't need nothing else but my word. I'm not gonna
Exactly.
say he did it if he wasn't here, but if you show up, half of my stuff broke, my eye black, that is enough. My word is enough. You want
enough
me
for
to
him to be picked up at least.
Yeah.
right?
And the thing is, what do you do? Because you
Well,
can't. Then if you take the law in your own hands, then you wrong and you're in trouble. But then
Right.
you give the law the opportunity to help you, and then they don't help. Now, I don't want to say that I'm preaching against the law because, like I said, even in the clip, these police and these officers, they were there, they did their job. So many law enforcement officers, they
Yeah.
do their job, but like Shai said, it's the laws and it's
Yeah.
the officials that need to do and write better
But
laws,
we got to start with our legislation. At this
legislation.
point, here's the difference. I will tell you this. Law enforcement officer has their own victim advocates. We are called community based. I will never work for a system based advocacy place. Let me throw that out there. The difference between I have privilege. For instance, Shonda, you come talk to me, I can't disclose nothing you say. It's like, matter of fact, I don't know you. I can't confirm nor deny. I've never seen you a day in my life. And you
Right.
know, honey, we might have had 18 conversations. You might call me every day. Hey, what can I do differently? What can I do? I do this like now,
Wow.
you work with law enforcement, they do not have that privilege. That means everything you say to a system-based advocate can be disclosed in court and can be used to help build that case.
Wow.
Is there
See,
a
and that
difference
and
from
that's
male
and I guess
advocacy?
that's where there's a difference. Now we are. I do want to wrap it up. I don't want to have like I want to keep you guys coming back for more. This was a great
Absolutely.
topic. I really appreciate everyone. Shot. I appreciate you coming on. I
No
always
problem.
appreciate all of my panel. Like you guys are part of the show. Miss Ronnie, John, Ro, Shonda, even you,
Lovely
Vivian,
flower. If somebody put their
Lauren,
hands on you,
Lori,
whether it's
Lovely
a man,
Flower.
woman, or child, it's abuse.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That no, that's what I want. I wanted to get that last question from Lovely Flower because I thought it was very important. Lovely Flower
Yeah.
says, question, Shy, is there a difference with a man acting out in anger, or is it all abusive when a man hits you on multiple
Abuse.
occasions?
Abuse. There's nothing cute, funny, or loving about it. It's abuse. And if a woman do it, guess what? It's abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. So look, I want to wrap up and I want to end with Shy giving us some, if you can say like five key or a few key red flags that
Mhm.
you have come across or that you know for sure that women or men or people can notice early on in
Mhm.
relationships that you in your experience typically lead up to abuse.
Manipulation, gaslighting, lying, excessive about small things. You move my keys when I probably just slid your keys over with the palm of my hand. Breaking
What's
things.
gaslighting? I'm sorry.
Oh,
What's gas?
Is it she or Shy?
shy.
Okay, all right.
Gaslighting is basically saying, um, something over there is moving. Now, clearly I'm looking. I see nothing. And you're convincing me, yeah, I see it. It's moving. It really is. Or they're telling you, hey, why did you move that? Why did you hit me? They're constantly trying to make it seem like something took place when nothing did, or it's your fault. I came late because you didn't have your clothes ready. It's always there is that pattern of manipulation, constantly trying to make that person feel as if they're losing their mind.
Yeah. Or
Mm.
you're the reason why this is
Yeah,
happening.
definitely look for that. I would say gaslighting more than anything. Lying, the manipulation, victim blaming. I hit you because you're stupid. I hit you because you knew I was tired. You should have let me sleep. You let me sleep too late. Those things you should definitely look at. I will tell you, socioeconomic has nothing to do with a person being less or more. So you could be rich and still be an abuser and be abused. Same thing goes for race, sex. All of these things make no difference. If a person is an alcoholic, a drug abuser, that's not going to make them less or more.
Absolutely.
I just
Absolutely.
have one more question. It's for Vivian.
Hmm.
What color is the fanny pack? Describe the fanny pack color.
You are so crazy.
Thank you.
You're so crazy. I totally missed the fanny pack, but
And yes, Lauren, I do give the best hugs.
I knew you did. I knew you did.
I got a different fanny pack per outfit. Is that all right?
That's
no, because
perfect. I was hoping you'd say
we all
that.
know about your fanny.
Oh,
So lovely flower, she's in Patreon. So the next time that we have like a meeting or something, I don't know when our next show is gonna be that we do Patreon or a happy hour, then I'll definitely make sure y'all link up with
Link
each
up.
other because
Absolutely.
both of y'all are in Lovely Flower. You have support. Anybody who is
Absolutely.
going
Yes.
through any type of abuse, the number one thing I want you to know is that you're not alone. And this is a
Absolutely.
very, we're joking with each other, but I don't want that to be mistaken because sometimes people get confused, and I don't want that to be mistaken
This is
for
a heavy topic. It's a heavy
It
topic.
is.
You
right.
gotta you gotta have to
You
lighten the
you
load.
have to
No, no,
lighten
no.
it
But I'm
up.
just saying.
Consume you.
Absolutely.
Listen, I'm just saying, y'all.
Yeah.
I've learned in my year in my inboxes, and I just wanted to be stated as a disclosure. We're not making light of your
Yeah.
circumstance or your situation because it is a
Yeah.
very serious topic and we take it seriously. And Biggs definitely, he actually has been wanting to do this topic for a couple of weeks. This didn't just happen
Yeah.
overnight. He's
Yeah.
been thinking about it and we talked about it. And I actually was more apprehensive than
Yeah. She
he
tried to
was.
talk me out
Oh.
of
I
it.
didn't try to talk you out of it. I just said that video. That
Yeah.
that was my thing. The video was what I felt triggered by.
Mm-hmm.
So that
It's
was
heavy.
that's my own
This
personal
is
issue.
heavy. It's a heavy
It
topic,
is.
Right.
heavy subject. But like I said,
It
like I
is.
said in the beginning, like I'm a type person. I'm not making light of things, but I do bring a certain lightness to the subject because
Yeah.
I want people to be comfortable, and I want people to also enjoy themselves, enjoy talking, and feel free to be open. Because I know when you make a place of comfort and comfort, people are more apt to loosen up and talk. And so that's where, hey, I make have a joke here and there. I joke around with you guys, but it's a very important topic. Shad, thank you so much for coming.
No
You are a godsend.
problem.
You were in the right place at the right time because I really did pray and ask God to give me, the right people that can talk and really get this message out and be heard. So if you don't mind,
Mm-hmm.
as you are part of Joy's channel and I
Mm-hmm.
hope now a part of mine.
Absolutely.
If you have information, please share the information with me about the
I
documentary.
will. I
Also
will.
share, link up with me on IG if you have
Mm-hmm.
IG, if that's okay with your fiance.
Yes.
And so that way, ladies, listen, Joy, if you're not comfortable with me, you're comfortable with Joy, reach
Mm-hmm.
out to us if you need to link up or get information that Shy has. In the description
Mm-hmm.
to this video, anyone that is looking, I have put in the description of this video the national hotline for domestic abuse.
Mm-hmm.
I posted it also several times in the comments. So please, if you are If you know someone or if you or yourself are experiencing it, please reach out, because you're not alone.
Mhm.
People out here that care about you. I care.
Yeah.
Like I said, my mother, I've seen my mother go through certain levels of abuse. I've seen friends and family. I myself have experienced certain levels of abuse. So it can be any walk of life. It's not something to be ashamed of or to be embarrassed about.
Yeah.
Anything can
Right.
happen to anyone. So I just wanted to preference that. That's my last and final statement. My conscience is clear. Joy, what about you?
Yeah.
I just want everybody to know, like I said, that you're not alone and you have resources and
Right.
you have support and you have, there is a way. Most importantly, like I would say the lovely flower, she says that the person may not be all bad. I'll say this, you
Reach
know,
out to me personally. If I can't help you, if you're not in my area, I will personally make sure I try to find someone in your area.
I will definitely go ahead and make it and we're actually going to continue this subject in the Patreon as well. Not this month, but definitely next month. So, like I said, it's my responsibility as a
Mm-hmm.
content creator to not only have the fun conversations, but also have the serious conversations. And I'll just
Mm-hmm.
say this: when it comes to somebody not being all bad, listen, bleach is a great cleaning agent. Y'all know I use bleach on everything, but if you
And
drink
it
it, it'll
saves
kill you.
lives.
It's going to
Exactly.
kill you. You know what I'm saying? It can save lives, but then it also can kill you. So it's kind of like sometimes things are a double-edged sword. That a
Absolutely.
person
Yes.
doesn't always have to be a horrible person
Listen,
to not be the person for you.
exactly.
So,
Alcohol,
that's my personal opinion.
like Joyce said, alcohol is a great thing, a wonderful thing. When you have a drink and a mixed drink or a cocktail, it's great. But if you do it in excess or have too much of it, or you do it at the wrong time, it can kill you and it can hurt you. So a lot of people can love you and be a great person, be anything, but there's no such thing as me loving you and hitting you with the same hand that I try to love you with. It's just
Yes.
not. It's not possible.
Right.
Not
Definitely.
possible.
You said a
So
mouthful there.
We love y'all, and we here. We love y'all, man, and we looking forward to the
absolutely,
next uncut.
Mhm.
And I
Miss
hope, I
Vivian.
guess, I think next time Big's gonna have some type of freaky conversation because y'all, y'all like the freaky
Listen, y'all
stuff.
know I got to stagger it. I got though. I came deep. I came heavy on y'all, but now I reached out to you guys and I was trying to get information. Like I said, I've been trying to do this for about 2 weeks. And I was in my feelings. Didn't nobody, respond to me. Lauren responded to me. Me and Lauren had some great conversations. Miss Tam responded to me. Me and Miss Tam, she actually gave me some great advice and made me realize that I don't need to be up in my feelings because didn't nobody respond to my IG and they didn't give me no
What
show
was the
topics.
question?
The question was show topics. What do we want to talk about? What are
Oh.
some things that we want to talk about on live or
Oh.
on or uncut? What are the things that you guys want to talk about?
See,
These
I
hoes don't
call
listen to
myself.
me 90% of the time. I tell them all kind of stuff. They don't never listen to me. I be giving shit away. They still don't listen. They don't be paying. They
So,
got a lot of stuff going
well,
on.
Miss Tam gave me the advice that listen, not everybody's going to be on IG or maybe they just didn't get the message, but go live more and interact with you guys more. So then that way, I can get more interaction with you guys, and so I'll take that. So I'm out of my feelings. I just want to make sure you guys love me and still want me around. So listen, this is a labor of love because
Yes.
listen. I'm working like 9 to 10 hours. Like I just started working like on the first, and they already are stressing the hell out of me. Um,
Did nobody
so
tell you to carry your ass down there and get no job?
I
I
had
know
to
you
because
not getting no
listen,
job.
I had to because I want y'all was doing really great getting me monetized, but some of y'all weren't liking my videos.
Well,
Y'all
some of
weren't
you wasn't posting enough damn videos. If you did enough videos more
listen,
than once a week, then maybe we'll be over here watching.
listen, listen. Anyway,
Sleeping
anyway,
on
well,
your
you already talked. So Miss Vivian, you got anything else you need to say quickly?
Well, what I want to say is, I laughed a lot. I apologize. This is definitely a serious subject. I probably said some things out of context about poisoning people
Mm-mm.
and shooting people that might have been taken a little bit out of context. I'm a little crazy.
There's no taking that out of context, but it's okay.
You, you're human. We all got emotional responses.
No, I'm just a different type of breed. That's it. But what I have to say is if you're going through any abuse, physical, mentally, sexual,
Right.
you deserve better. You do
Reach
not
out. Reach
deserve
out.
that. Don't make no one make you feel like you deserve that. You deserve better. You are special. You are loved, and
Absolutely.
you can get yourself out of that situation. Don't believe that you're stuck anywhere. I don't believe
Mm.
in under no one's thumb and being stuck anywhere. You can get out, like she said, but get professional help to get an exit Saturday. But you deserve better. You know there is more out there to life than having children and being beat on and being under someone's thumb. If you don't know how to drive, then learn how to drive. Keep some
Mm.
things secret. Always have a secret stash of money. My mom always told me, yeah, always have a secret stash of money. You don't let everybody know your every move. You don't tell everybody everything you're doing. So make a plan to get to the next level. But I want to let
Right.
you know you deserve better, man, female, whoever it is, and you can get yourself out of that situation if you want to. Just get the proper help to get out of there, and you deserve better. If you don't know, I'm telling you now that you deserve better.
Mm.
Absolutely. Thank you. I
Oh Lord, you
appreciate
just touched my heart.
Oh,
it.
you're more than well. I'm a little
No,
ratchet, and I know I'm a
that's
little
okay.
off.
Listen, I
I'm a
don't
Me
little,
mind.
too.
Listen,
Look,
but
look. I came looking like I do for Patreon. See, Patreon, you gotta pay to be there, so I know you ain't there to judge. Baby, I'm on YouTube with no wig on. Really?
you better get one of these.
but
Right.
listen, that's all right though, because you looking beautiful, looking wonderful, and I
Thank you.
appreciate you. I appreciate you,
No wig
Shonda.
on.
Shonda, your last word.
What?
Never. Okay,
What?
that's it. That's enough.
Um, just if you need, no, if you need help for real, get help. I know 3 girls, 20-some-year-old ladies, who were killed through intimate partner violence, and
Wow.
it's pitiful, and it don't
Wow.
make no kind of sense. So, and none of them ever thought that these men would kill them. And I don't
That's
know all of what happened because, of course, they don't share everything. You never realize it's that bad till they dead.
wow.
So, if you
Exactly.
need help, just get help.
That's why get out now, because you never realize how far somebody will go until they go there.
Hmm.
Get out now. I'm more than sure this woman didn't think that he was actually going to come and shoot her or try to really kill her, but he did. And thank God he didn't succeed. But get out now. That's if someone is abusing you, don't think. Just know. You don't want to know. If you still have the ability to think about it, you're lucky. That means it hasn't gone too far yet. Ronnie, how about you?
Well, I just want to say for any women that are out there as well as men, if you're in an abusive relationship, know that there is a way out, there is help available, and be open to that help. Because a lot of people, they just want to crawl inside and not deal with it. If someone is trying to help you, be open to getting that help as well. There are some people that are, there are some people that just shut down and they aren't open to it and things happen. So just know that there's help available. Reach out, someone will help you, and you can get on with your life.
Absolutely.
Very well said.
Well said. John, you want to put in a little on it?
She said it all. I gave her 2 thumbs up.
I know that's right. Lauren, any last words?
Yes.
Come on with it, Lauren.
Well, I just want to put an apology out there because I know I joke around a lot. I do.
Okay.
It is never a serious thing, because I use it to deflect a lot of stuff, but it's never at anyone's expense except for my own. So if I did offend anybody, like, please, I am so sorry. Please let me know. And I may be in Canada, but I do have a lot, or on the East Coast Canada, but I do have a lot of connections across the country. So if you are in Canada and you think you're in a not good situation, you let me know.
Yes.
My home is open and I have a lot of land. So we'll make it work.
Well, if I
Yeah.
was to get out of Florida, or I need to get out of the country. And I thank you. I know where to go now.
Yes. Follow the yellow brick road. And never forget, you can always call 911 and order a pepperoni pizza. If you are in a situation where you cannot be alone, you call 911, you order a pizza.
Oh,
They
yeah,
know.
I forgot about that.
Yes. Code words, y'all. Get
That's a
your
real
family,
thing.
get your
Expound
families
on
and
that.
friends online. Make them
There is
make
a
code
thing.
words.
There is a thing where you call 911 and you say, I would like to order a pepperoni pizza. That's a code letting them know something.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
Wow.
It's an
I
If you're in
just,
an
SOS,
unsafe
right?
situation, and just
Well,
it is
they'll start talking to you and asking you like, okay, are you in a situation where you cannot speak? Are you, and they know that means that you can't talk in front of someone.
I didn't know that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Did? I did not know that. I never knew that.
Mm.
You learn something every
And
day. I had no idea.
But do
Yep.
code words with your
And
friends and your families also. Mine for my mom is I want extra bacon on that sandwich. I hate bacon. So if I call her and say I want extra bacon on that sandwich, she already know call 911 to get some help because she don't eat bacon.
mhm. Now you got to set up a new one though, because everybody knows now,
Well, yeah. Oh, trust me.
right?
Listen, I got a whole laundry list of them.
Good. And just remember, if you are in an unsafe situation, it is not your fault. You are not responsible for anybody's actions other than your own.
True.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then for last, but certainly not least, definitely my special guest, I really appreciate so much. Shy, if you go ahead and give us our last words of the night,
I'm
what's your
gonna end
final
up with
thought?
something light because I say like I said, this is a heavy topic. I laugh all the time. Joe will tell you I'm a mess over on Patreon side, but that's my way of just decompressing. I work in a heavy field. So I will tell
Absolutely.
you this. I love you like I love Jesus. So reach out. Y'all need some help. I am on Facebook, same name, SHI, last name GEE. Reach out. If I cannot personally help you, I will do my best to try to connect you with someone close to you.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much. Listen, guys, I'm gonna go call it a night. I love you guys for real, for real. I thank you so
Mhm.
much for coming out, spending time with me. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Please let the powers that be at YouTube know that you rock with your boy the long way, and so that way they will show my videos and put them out there so I can get um, monetized. Your boy trying to get monetized, so I ain't got to go work for these people's jobs. But I do need these coins.
Yeah.
But I do need these coins. So I appreciate you guys. Please, if you can do that for me, make sure you like. If you see the videos, comment. If you haven't already subscribed, subscribe for your boy. You are all now part of the Big Nation family. I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks, everybody. Miss Vivian, Ronnie, John, Lauren, Shy, my girl Ro, and my sister who done dipped out because I'm more than sure she want to go get something to eat because I know she's hungry, um, which is not a joke.
Well, thank you for
Don't do that.
having
I
me. I
love
know
you.
I'm not a regular on the panel, but I thank you for having me, and I hope some of my words help somebody, some of the laughter help somebody smile today. And
Absolutely.
I
And you're
watch
not a
you guys all the
regular.
time. And please support Biggs,
Thank you.
Enjoy. So
And you're
please
not a
support
regular,
them.
but I hope you become a regular because I love having you on. I
Oh,
remember every
thank you
time
so
that
much.
the last time that you came on and talked, we had a great time. So I want to see you next again, and that goes for everybody. Shy, you are now part of the family, so I do expect to see you again, my
Thank
love.
you.
Lauren, as always, you know I will see you. Ronnie, you know you my look, you my rock. Always down for me, bro. Same thing for you. I always gotta look at that face to see what you thinking, because I already know when I just see them expressions. But everybody tonight, I love you guys. Everybody in the comments, I love you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys so much. You guys always,
Bye.
as always, say, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and God bless everybody. I appreciate you so much. You guys have a good night, and I am out.
God bless. Bye.
Everybody.